as we speak. You're going to work, going to school. Those who continue to have exams, there are a lot of mock exams that are going on as we speak.
Mocking the students?
Well, somebody I know came out of an exam and says, well, that really mocked me because it was not good at all. I says, well,
Are you serious?
yes, I says, yeah, man, but you know.
So really mocked you?
I says, well, I'm telling you, you've known these exams are coming, but you know, I guess it's a shift of our mindset.
Is that a certain young Mr. Palmer?
Yes, it is. It was a wake-up call.
Yeah, I got this. That's what that's the purpose of the mock exams. So,
Where are you with the material that you have covered?
mock exams still have its utility.
It's still used, but good morning. Nothing's been happening, but I give God thanks for his goodness and his mercy towards us. You know, I have something very interesting happened as I've been going through. I'm Samuel's, I'm in Psalms, I'm all over the place as we speak in terms of the word. And I found something in 1 Samuel 15.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
That excited you?
Yes, it did.
Or sobered you up?
But it excited and it sobered me up. Yesterday you were on the importance of our children and passing on to them the importance of home in terms of being their first place of schooling.
Yes.
And what gives them a sense of self and what it really does for them in terms of giving them the tools they need to survive in the world today. And I've discovered that your sense of self is very much happens in terms of what happens in your family and outside of that. But you know that even your sense of self and who God is, so many times you need to have an encounter with him, and that encounter really just changes up and transforms everything in your life. And that's what happened to Saul. You know what Saul I'm talking about, right?
Mm-hmm.
Saul who...
King.
Yes.
The one who was king.
Yes. The one who was king and the one who had it taken away from him.
Yeah.
Because of his disobedience.
The man who lost the throne.
The man who lost the throne because he never... What is the word? He never thinks. I'm going into...
He wasn't submitted to God, and that is the whole... I mean, it always comes down to that. Do you really understand that God comes first and second and third? And it's just such a tough lesson to absorb in... Well, if it was hard for Saul, just imagine now. In Saul's time, prophets walked and said important things, and God did things that were potent and visible, and man had no other explanation for it. They just knew that something supernatural happened. In today's world, there are some events and doings of men that look supernatural to some of us. It's a mystery how we hold a little device in our hand. And I mean, my father was from a whole other generation, born in the 1900s. I mean, there are many people today who don't know a single person born in the 1900s.
1920.
Yeah, but still 1900s. Yeah, but there are some people who the entirety of their world
20s, 30s,
yeah, but it's still the 1900s.
Okay.
Yes, still some of us born in
the 1900s.
But they're
born in the 1900s.
yes, that just means we're old.
No, we're not really.
Words seldom said by Minette. And the really old ones are denying it. Anyway, my father was born in the 1900s. Anything in 1900 now we regard it as something of from a whole other era, whether we like it or not. And he, when using a telephone, would just shout. talking to somebody who is in America, you just feel like there's no way that person can hear me if I speak in a normal voice.
Are you serious?
Of course, we still see old people shouting on the phone. We see young people shouting on the phone too, some of them. They just don't, the idea that you can speak in a normal tone as you would to someone standing in front of you, and this little device.
Ask Siri.
Ask Siri and I tell you.
Yeah, or that you have this companion who, and there was a real funny little video on, I've forgotten how I came on it, but it's of a small child. She looks maybe 4 or 5, and obviously she wanted to go to Chuck E. Cheese, and her grandmother tell her it's not open. Chuck E. Cheese not open, and she comes to, she's in the video, she's standing by her grandma with the phone up, showing the times for Chuck E. Cheese and saying, how come you say Chuck E. Cheese is not open? Chuck E. Cheese is open. And her grandmother says, where you got that from? She said, I took your phone and I pressed this button and I asked, is Chuck E. Cheese open? And she hold up the phone, answering now, one of the assistants saying, Chuck E. Cheese is open from so-and-so, and giving her the nearest one.
Uh-oh.
So here we are now. You can't even fool your kids. You can't even tell them something that usually they could only get that information from an adult. Now they can pick up the phone and ask any question, including do homework.
That's the other thing.
Yeah, because I mean,
and all of them
a
things.
friend of mine told me that she came and saw her daughter sitting with the phone and just giving the phone her math problems and saying, Siri, what's the answer? Homework done.
And quick too.
In no
And the
time.
child will learn nothing at all.
Well, she learned that Siri is resourceful.
Yeah, but
Some of those things, it just points to another aspect of how we educate our children, building in them a curiosity to discover things from first principle and not just accept the answer that comes from whatever resource you can find. So that we speak against plagiarism. That's why colleges and schools don't want you to just go to somebody else's opinion and recite it as your own. And that it goes deeper, it means that there remains a necessity for us to develop our original ideas, exercise our imagination and our brains, and learn how to articulate how we feel about different problems in the world. We can't just take somebody else's opinion and use it as our own. And it's so funny that those who are opinion makers, those who speak in media and write their articles and so on, that's what they want you to do. They want you to just say, because I said so. It extends to government as well.
Information.
They want to give you whatever they feed you, you must just consume and spit it out when called upon. And that would ultimately be the death of humanity, because our continued survival depends on continued innovation and fresh thinking.
Well,
Even the very textbooks we get, which are meant to give us a foundation for thinking further. You can't get offended if you come up with something which has been considered good for centuries, and somebody takes it and derives something higher from it. You can't be offended and say, no, what I said is what goes. And it is just, sometimes it's how we as parents, we want our children to remain stuck at our level of thinking. We don't want to see them move higher. We treat it as a rejection of our authority or as an assault against our place in their life. When they
you have put a lot of ideas out there on the table, Maybe just started one this morning. You're a producer some of the times. I've got, stop.
Yes.
But
I'm an original thinker.
I never denied that.
No, that's true. You don't.
Yes.
You allow me.
But yes, as I was going through.
Oh yes, you were talking about Saul. Oh my God.
Yes, I know, but I'm talking about an implication. But Saul in relation to Samuel, because Samuel, from he was a child of purpose with a destiny. He was answer to prayer, actually.
Some might say he was trafficked.
It was given to unto the Lord. I tell you, that is
In Mother Carrie leave him at the temple.
I said, but it was responded to the request, and then the Lord gave her 3 and 2, 3 boys and 2 girls.
You're trying to carry your child and leave at the temple.
We can't do that, no.
The police.
Although, there's a lot of thing with trafficking and temples and so on, and we leave that alone.
That was in a red herring mood this morning.
Yeah, but interestingly,
Back to Saul. I'm so sorry.
Back to Saul and Samuel. So Saul was anointed as the first king of Israel, and it was because the people said, we want what the other people want. And Samuel said, but all this them said we still want it. But initially he was very reluctant. And how he came was...
Yeah, I want to hear your opinion on that.
He was very reluctant. Because when it's okay, we're going to go for the king, and them looking, and Samuel knew it was them had to find him hiding somewhere.
Gone back to farming.
He was hiding in the baggage and thing. But interestingly...
And he didn't tell anybody.
He never tell him uncle. The monkey never told his uncle. And but along the way, to confirm what Samuel had written, had said to him about he becoming king, he said, you're gonna find your asses, and you're gonna find the asses.
The donkey. Let's go with donkeys. You have confused quite a few people.
The donkey ass, whatever.
Your donkeys are...
Yeah, and then...
Donkeys were found, remember?
And then say, on the way, you're gonna meet into
a pair of musicians.
A pair of musician prophets, and he prophesied. And that happened 2 occasions in his life, though, you know. The first one, but that was a confirmation.
They saw amongst the prophets.
Yes. So 2 times that was said. But I want to focus on Samuel, Saul and Samuel. When he was handing over, and this is in 1 Samuel 12, and he asked some very important questions. Samuel, going to the beginning, he says, 1 Samuel 12, he says, then Samuel, this is his farewell address all Israel, I've done as you have asked and given you a king. Your king is now your leader. I stand here before you, an old gray-haired man, and my son serve you. And his son was another story. But anyway, I leave that alone. I've served as your leader from the time I was a boy to this very day. Now testify against me in the presence of the Lord and before his anointed one. Whose ox or donkey have I stolen? Right? Have I ever cheated any of you? Have I ever oppressed you? Have I ever taken a bribe and perverted justice? Tell me, and I'll make right what I've done wrong. 3 questions. We're gonna upscale that to our present situation. So he's standing as the leader, and he's saying, now, you have seen me, you have looked at my works. You know, yesterday in the Sunday paper 2 days ago, the government put out this very pretty thing about their achievement in 2023, their performances in the different sector. I guess they're giving a record, and against
their campaigning.
I know, but it's something that they've been doing a couple of years now.
Campaigning.
Yeah, man. But he asks these questions, and he's standing in front of the people. He said, now, can you now judge my record?
Judge the judge.
Yes. Whose ox or donkey have I stolen? Let's turn that into modern dating. What would that mean? Whose ox or donkey have I stolen?
Whose $1 billion license I cancelled with no cause?
Okay. Yes.
Whose
okay.
contributions for housing have I taken and put all over the place, and the people don't have no house?
Have I ever cheated any of you? Have I ever oppressed you? That's a justice question. Have I
So
ever taken a bribe?
that's a corruption in government and a justice question in terms of the distribution of the goods and services that
Have I
are in
ever
public
taken a
domain.
bribe and perverted justice? The working of corruption.
Corruption again and integrity.
Yeah. Tell me, and I will make right whatever I have done wrong. So this is a man who is standing in front of us and saying, check the record. You from top to bottom, from elders to the little man in the street. And what their response was? No, they replied. You have never cheated or oppressed us, and you have never taken even a single bride.
Bride?
Bribe.
Oh, you know they're very close.
Yes. Bribe, yes. The Lord and his anointed one are my witnesses today, declared that my hands are clean.
And this is the statement of a man demitting office.
Yes.
He's not a man looking to be elected. He's demitting office. But you see how rejected Samuel felt? He did. That's the speech of one who feels that the direction you have gone is a rejection of me. I mean, God did comfort him and said, no, Samuel,
Not you.
they've not rejected you, they've rejected me.
Right.
Because these were the days of the judges when
He was a life judge and prophet. He was judge and prophet and priest. Yes.
Yes. He was very overworked
Yeah.
and clearly had no time for good parenting, which is what you were hinting at.
Because of my two sons,
Sons never behave right.
Sons never behave right. And the priest before him, Eli with his sons,
Same thing.
Phineas,
Phineas.
yes, and thing. But that's where we are
Like
today.
parenting really hard. If a prophet and a judge can't get it right.
Yeah, but it is a continuous process that we do it. So there are those questions, and I'm saying that, and I'm throwing it out. It's interesting. In the Word of God, you can always draw parallels, principles, and I ask it again, as we are.
Still ask the whose ass have I said?
Whose ass have
I said?
Have I ever cheated any of you?
But you know, Percival, those are the questions asked by a man who knows his record is clean and who knows that he has lived in a righteous way.
Because live with integrity.
These jokers not going to ask that. You know what they're asking? Why are you going behind the questions that you already certified that I answer them good? That's the headline this morning, you know. The Integrity Commission has come out saying we're not fishing. When you give us your statutory declarations and 10 years later we ask you a question about it, we are not fishing. Because in the Parliamentary Oversight Committee meeting of days ago, early January, Minister Delroy-Chuck, Minister of Justice Delroy-Chuck, floated an argument that the Integrity Commission should not be permitted to go back in the past to look at declarations which were certified because the thievery never manifests clearly yet. The Integrity Commission asked it when we were there in October of, what was it, 2022?
Yeah.
He asked it. And the question is still alive. And the way they pose it, because this is the provision that they're trying to make into law, it's been introduced by the Permanent Secretary's Board, where additional information is requested. The Act explicitly specifies that such information shall be limited to the period within which the public official has held his or her office, and in cases where the public official is being investigated for breaches of the Act or allegations of corruption. Now, the truth of it is, this proposal would place them in a worse position because everybody, the minute you can find a good explanation for something on a declaration, you would stop gathering data and just move to an investigation for corruption. I would say this is worse. But what they're trying to do is contain the the management of the declarations,
Then I have good memory. That's
so that Percy always say, what does your mother tell you? Nobody with the like you have to struggle to remember all of them.
If you thought
You tell one,
you're not remember what it said.
yes, right. Because this is what is happening to them, They come into the business, they come into public service of modest means, and they declare the one house and the half apartment and the small investment in this or that. And they forget that when they came in, they actually spoke truth. And on that slim foundation, they then create a monument of great wealth. And when the Integrity Commission goes back and says, hold on a minute, when you started, you only had X.
How did you get?
And now you have Y, and there's no clear path. That kind of growth would be supernatural, miracle money. Can you explain? They don't want you to go back. And of course, the Chairman Panton will have none of it. But to make a proposal that questions relating back should only be raised in the context of the investigation of an offense places you in a worse position. Because now it means, for good or ill, whether it succeed or not, every time you come up on some peculiarity or anomaly in the declaration, you just send it over to the director of investigation and say, tag this one and investigate him. And then now all of your business get rooted up, because in the investigation, they're going to call witnesses, you have to give some sworn evidence, they're all over your business, and it gets public.
So they never think about that. You see, and it just speaks.
Because in the them heart, they know they can't block it. They can't block the inquiry, but they want to create that argument that the Integrity Commission has been running investigations under a data gathering guise, and because the law sets out some clear protections and duties when an investigation is underway, they want to say that they've lost their rights and lawful protection because the Commission was treating them unfairly under the pretext of data gathering. Data gathering is innocuous, but I can tell you, as one who have resisted it and imposed it, I have lived in the two houses, I can tell you that when the data is being gathered, you better be circumspect, because the next step is investigation and loss of license and years of lawsuit. And even criminal investigations when the appetite cannot be slaked.
Yeah, but it wow.
So from then right to you, Percy, and ask you to explain something, you should immediately know, if I cannot give us an adequate answer, it's going to move to a higher level. And they know the truth, they know where the bodies are buried and where they have the secrets. So you know you're on a slippery slope right there.
It sounds like a real
Mafia.
No. It sounds like a story. Attention story with the drama. And,
that it is. That it is.
The drama has begun.
Because Percy, how some of we believe in the supernatural, but some of the kind of promotion and elevation that has taken place in the lives of politicians, man start barely have a good car, no have no house, and 5 or 10 years later, sometimes 3 years later, you have big farmer country, a fleet of vehicles. I mean, some people have major trucking operations running quietly in the background of their public lives because they have trucks on the road hauling bauxite, hauling sand, anything that moves.
They're hauling it.
They're hauling it. They haul garbage.
True.
And you hear about it. You think the people in the commission don't live in Jamaica? They hear about the many politicians who have bought motor vehicles, trucks mainly, and have it under contract. And some of it shameless, everybody know. They know about the policemen with the taxes and the different businesses that they're running, and they know. So if they know, that people who are in it know also. So when you get a question, just understand that whatsoever is done in the dark will come to light.
You're going to bite baby color on me again. But God is not mocked. Whatever you sow, you shall reap. And but I'm telling, I'm just saying this. Okay. All right. We take our 7 o'clock time break, and when we come back, we'll explore it some more in terms of what is out there. How do we tie the principles of Scripture to what is happening in real life? That's what we always try to do.
Yeah.
Beth 100 FM, broadcasting live in all 14 parishes. Hanover 100.5, 100.9. St. James 100.9. Trelawney 100.3, 100.9. St. Anne 100.3, 100.5. St. Mary 100.5. Westmoreland 100.1, 100.5. St. Elizabeth 100.1, 100.5. Manchester 100.1, 100.5. Clarendon 100.1, 100.5, 100.9. St. Catherine 100.5, 100.9. St. Andrew 100.5, 100.9. St. Thomas 100.5 and 100.9. Best FM, giving you the better vibe.
Buzz FM 100 on your dial. Keep listening.
Managing your mental health is one of several elements involved in maintaining a quality life. But what if things are not going according to plan? What should you do to ensure that your mental health stays in good order? On today's program, licensed associate psychologist and founder of I Evolve Global, Sharika Anderson, shares 6 things that you can do to improve your mental health.
What can be done to improve our mental health? I want to introduce us to this acronym. It's STRESS. STRESS, right? So the first S is to seek help, seek professional help. Go see a counselor, go see a psychologist, go get psychological help. And we have to move beyond the point where we're saying that the psychologists only see mad people. We have to get beyond that point now, especially now.
Talking about it is the second component. According to Ms. Anderson, talking is a very therapeutic and positive way to express all things that you have on your mind.
Just sit down and talk. You'd be surprised that after you really talk, nothing may change, but you feel better because you have expressed it, right? So that's S. T. R now is for rest and relaxation. Do something fun. Go to the beach. Go and just spend the day at the beach, right? And rest is something that we often overlook because everyone, well, not everyone, but most persons seem to believe that we need to be working, but rest is therapeutic. So we need to make time to sleep. Sleeping rejuvenate the body and the mind. So rest and relaxation.
Nutrition and physical activity are the other components that will also improve your mental health.
E is for exercising and eating well. Exercising is a natural boost to our mental health because when we do exercise, it releases something called the happy hormones. So it elevates our mood. So we need to make time to exercise at least half an hour a day, 15 minutes a day. It helps us. It's a natural antidepressant. And eating well, sometimes we don't recognize that nutrition plays a valuable role in our mental health. So we have to pay attention to what we eat.
Having a strong support system is the last thing on our list that will help improve your mental health. As the saying goes, no man is an island and no man stands alone. And to be honest, life is easier to navigate knowing that you have help.
The other S is for social support, right? So we have to make sure that we have a social support system. We have friends, we have families, and we try to lean on them, right? So family members, if you recognize that somebody may have mental health issue, now is not the time for you to pull away and say, to make them stay on their own. No, try to rally around them, try to give them social support, encourage them, right? Talk to them, just be there. And the final S is for spiritual activities. Research has shown that spiritual activities helps us, right? So for those persons who are so inclined, make time to pray, make time to read, make time to meditate on the scriptures.
So to wrap, the acronym to remember is STRESS. That's seek help, talk, rest, exercise, and eat right, have a support system, and incorporate spiritual activity.
I think I just want persons to recognize that in the same way that we do the necessary things to be healthy physically, we have to start taking care of our mental health, because it does affect every area of our life. And the truth is, there is no health without mental health. So we can't walk around saying, oh, I'm healthy, if we're not also mentally healthy.
Licensed associate psychologist and founder of I Evolve Global, Sharika Anderson. That's where we leave our conversation on your mental health and you this week. Special thanks to licensed associate psychologist and founder of I Evolve Global, Sharika Anderson. Until we meet again, I'm Andre Palmer. Thanks for listening.
A production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.
Jam Auto Parts, the place with the most purchased stuff for all your Mazda needs, is doing it again. A new Jam trailer has arrived with parts to meet any and every Mazda need. Call 461-1786 or 923-4389. Jam Auto Parts, 9 Kingswood Avenue off Waltham Park Road, Kingston, for all your Mazda needs.
You ever hear Earthquake call and say, hello, Miss Lee, yes, it's me, Earthquake, coming Tuesday around 10? No, sir. Earthquake does arrive unannounced, and when it comes, it shake all sense and sensibility out of we. Remain calm, stay inside, and do the DCH. Drop, hover, hold on. Once the shaking starts, you know it's Earthquake. Make a quick move to a safe place. Don't look to the door, we are in the exit. Stairs might block up or full of people. Elevator, avoid that, because you might get in and poof, power gone, and you're stuck in that box without air. Drop, hover, hold on.
A message from the Office of Disaster Preparedness and Emergency Management.
Veteran Printers for all your printing needs. We specialize in calendars, flyers, brochures, and more. Call us today at 968-7506. That's 968-7506. Or visit us at 4 East Bloomsbury Road, off Haggard Park Road. Veteran Printers, your best choice for printing.
What should a taxi service do for you? On-Time Taxi Service is more than just a ride to the other side of town. They offer clean and spacious vehicles, reliable service, and promise to always look out for their customers. They'll come when you call and take you where you want to go on time.
You can call us at 926-386.
We are something special on the road.
Greetings, brothers and sisters. I invite you to join us for the Church of Our Lord Jesus Christ radio program with Elder Kendrick Murray, where we stand firm that Jesus Christ is the Son of God. This broadcast is heard every Saturday from 12 noon to 1 p.m. and again on Sundays from 4 to 5 p.m. The church is located at 3550 Pleasant Valley Road here in Mobile, Alabama in the United States. You may visit our website at sonofgodlives.org or our YouTube page at Minister K. Murray, or you may call us at area code 251-300-8812. God bless you, and we look forward to you tuning in to the program.
half a tree, 100. Bossy. How you do I take taxi start?
Chano, I want to tell you, say, at 2 months now, my transmission mash up, and me check everybody and can't hear nothing positive.
Yeah, hear me? You waste all that time I shop around and never call the experts. Winters Auto have them. Them have over 35 years of experience and them diagnose the problem and get back your transmission brand new. For them service excellent and efficient. Trust me, man. Yeah, hear me? Call them at 929-7040 or go to them at 106 Maxfield Avenue, Kingston 13 and talk directly to the boss. Just tell them I'm me, send you.
You big star. Yeah, man, respect my boss.
Try and call him, cause trust me.
What a relief.
For a better choice in all your electrical supplies, A, authorized 3M dealer and better brand names. B, better service including free island-wide delivery. C, all major credit and debit cards accepted. It's ABC Electrical Sales. Shop number 8, Hagley Park Plaza, Kingston 10. Open Monday to Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m., Saturday, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. We make your electrical jobs as easy as ABC. Call 754-3825-8 or fax 754-3659. ABC Electrical Sales, for a better choice.
What should a taxi service do for you? On-Time Taxi Service is more than just a ride to the other side of town. They offer clean and spacious vehicles, reliable service, and promise to always look out for their customers. They'll come when you call and take you where you want to go on time.
From anywhere you can call us at 926-3866.
We are something special on the road.
Best 100 FM is the authentic voice of Jamaica, promoting your prosperity with better vibes and better music. Let us promote your goods and services for you. Advertise with us. For more information, call our office at 876-276-8935. That's 276-8935.
The Morning Connection is not your usual talk show. We aim to stimulate discussion and chart new paths to self-empowerment. So please join us, Minette and Percy, on The Morning Connection, Mondays to Thursdays, 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. on Best 100.
It's good. It's better, but nothing beats.
It's burning, I think we're gonna put a camera in here, so some people will see some of the things that Minette gets up to when we're having the break.
Yeah, but it's okay. I'm still cute and cuddly. Okay, so you're the middle one. Did you look at both? Didn't you look at both?
No, I didn't.
Check the people.
You want us to explain? So there's a picture in today's paper of a beautiful young woman. I think she had been a guest on our program on Thursday morning.
That's right.
Beautiful, charming young woman. Let me show you the picture, Lois, so you can see what inspired this search of the internet. And Percy, her name has changed in today's paper.
So she's now Hall. Yeah.
She has a new name. So I said to Percy, well, she'll soon look harassed and abused. because I remembered years ago someone showed me a joke at the club. They showed me, it was a rather confirmed bachelor who had been divorced for some time. In fact, I usually joke that man was divorced longer than he was ever married.
Okay.
From the time I met him, he had been divorced for like 36 years. So anyway, he brought a picture to the club. You guys can find it on the internet. If you were to search for married rooster, single rooster, and divorced rooster pictures, you'll see them. The single rooster is sleek and full. The feathers are just shiny, and the comb is looking high and proud and regal. Isn't that a gorgeous picture of a rooster? He even appears to be wearing boots. Look at his ankles. I mean, yeah, that's why you say you just walk around like a cock chicken.
Yes.
Single man strutting nice and free. And then the married rooster in the middle, same rooster, but oh my gosh, his neck is peeled, his feathers are looking disheveled, and he's not looking good. And then the divorced rooster is just plucked clean.
He has
no feathers at all. That's been taken to the cleaners. It's a very old joke. I saw that years ago, but I never forgot it because it's just so funny. So I found one now that also have a woman's life in 3 pictures. This little entertainment. The single woman is a cute kitty with angel wings. Look at that. Pink angel wings looking just cute and relaxed. And the married one is an angry looking cat with ears bristling and so on and so forth. And the divorced one, I think this looked like diamonds around her neck.
Oh, that's cute.
And a cute little hat. All right.
Because she's taken the gentleman to the king, so she have everything.
So she has everything. That's right. You see? That they put it above the divorce chicken. Anywho, we are all happily married here and don't look like any of those abused creatures in the middle. Let me just say that. But it's causing a lot of entertainment.
It's interesting as we move towards Valentine's Day. But before Valentine's Day, it was Ash Wednesday. So repentance and redemption, and then you can move into the season of love. But do you know, Percival, I was listening to I saw something about there's been a local play, like it says wifey. It's something about a wife knowing best or rule things or something. It's a local play, and it portrays the wife as a domineering, nagging, demanding, talk over your husband individual, and the man as alcoholic, stressed, hiding from the wife, staying out late because he can't take the grief. And I'm like, oh, wow, are we really moving with these stereotypes of marriage that make it look as if to be married is to be under the rule of a hateful person. And in this, I didn't stay with it for long, but the wife in the play wanted a child, and it seemed there was some issue of infertility, which the man was blaming the woman and the woman was blaming the man. Long and short of it is, I thought we need to reassess these roots play and the things we feed ourselves and the way we represent ourselves in culture is very, very it's not uplifting. No, it's not. We need to change the stereotype.
And people are, laughing and thinking it's so funny. I'm like, no, it's not funny.
Can you identify with it?
It wasn't heard from, there's a caller, someone used to call us from, I think it might be, we had a caller who used to talk about the high rate of divorce, the low rate of marriages, and the fact that Jamaican family lifestyle is not of the moral quality that makes for raising good children. Something along those lines. The covenant of marriage is not greatly respected in our society. You do a lot of weddings. What do you think?
Oh my. Pause to answer that one. I do believe a lot of people believe in marriage because if you go to RGB, like in 1 week, in 1 day I did 6 marriages because it's...
So then it's growing, you would say.
It's growing. A lot of people are seeing it, and some of the time you ask them why. No, but it's... But it doesn't have to take... If you go through the normal vows, it's not more than 20-30 minutes of exchange, but when you go into the church, it becomes bigger because a lot of people have made it a significant thing in their own lives. I've been to weddings where it was a whole theatrical performance in terms of dances and singing. 'Cause it was a happy occasion for the individuals, but it is important. It is a very significant event in the lives of many people, and I tell people all the time, you get married to can make you or break you. And so it's important in terms of your decision making and you enter into it. And it's a very powerful covenant. That is why so many things comes against it, because outside of the covenant you have with God. Which other covenant it says if 2 or more people agree touching anything, God says I'm in the midst of it, because he sees that significant. Just to go back a bit though, Mint, this no fishing is very important, because I do believe we as Jamaicans need to stand with the Integrity Commission.
Yes.
It is very, 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 very important. And if you don't have anything to hide, you don't have anything to fear from the Integrity Commission. What say you?
Absolutely. And when you consider that for tax collection purposes, the government will go back 7 years to hunt down every dollar that you have for them.
Right.
And in some instances, they even want you to pay in advance, because, well, not some instances. The scheme is you should be estimating your quarterly and making a payment against it. And they have all kinds of artful ways of going into your pockets from every kind of direction. I cannot understand why the same parliamentarians who see the benefit of casting as wide a net as possible would want to restrict an inquiry into their affairs so as to assure the nation that they are honest and upright people of integrity.
So like Samuel, they can stand
and plead their record.
Yes. This is my record, but unfortunately, it is not so. It is not so. And I think in talking to a lot of persons, young and old in this country, they are finally making the connection between some people prosperity, but their livelihood, their welfare, their well-being.
Yes.
And what happens
in the big house.
Yeah, in the big house.
But hasn't it always been so? You in the plantation know that your fortunes rise and fall with what's going on in the great house. It has always been so. Why we think it would be any different when we run the great house is a mystery to me.
Okay. All right. So on the front page also, there's no fishing. So you are thinking this morning the crisis below the waves in terms of what is happening with our coral reefs and how they're struggling to save them. And that is really related to our stewardship
of the environment.
The stewardship of environment. In Genesis 1:26, he gave us stewardship of the planet. We are called to be stewards on his behalf. And the question of stewardship goes back to the question of integrity and corruption. Goes back to, you asked me to explain the CXC equals 300% and PhD equals 0.5%. Note the inequity. And I think they are alluding to the fact...
Is it the picture of the day? What is it?
Yeah, I don't know if it's...
No, because it's on the front page without any kind of caption. But it's a picture of the protesting professionals from the University of Technology.
The academic
staff.
Yes.
They staged a silent protest. And you need a degree to understand some of their signage. But you know what?
There's no to the dance culture. I understand. I remember with the that was, yes, right. First rate education, low class pay, that no play. All right, but this one. 460.
But first it has the math symbol for greater than.
Yes. Equal 300%, PHE equals 0.5%, note in equity. So you all wonder.
First you go interpret it. So what are they saying?
Okay. Anybody remember 200 to 300% increase? Anybody remembers that? Yes, the 2 to 300% increase. So if you're a politician, you can be a politician and you get that percentage increase. Because it's even with parish council.
So they're saying people who only have CXC, CSEC, not even, they said people who only have a CSEC level education qualified for 300% salary increases. And those who have PhD qualification got a 0.5% increase
in their pay.
That is the statement. If you're looking at the front page of the Gleaner and wonder what the UTech academic staff are conveying in their signage, the one that says no to the dunce culture, and in the context of their own protest, I'm not sure what they're saying with that one, but surely we all say we're not dunce, and anything that perpetuate the idea that we're dunce, we say no to it. The second one says they offer first-rate education, but they are getting low-class pay. And them said that now play. I love the mix of the patois and the English. With reference to education, at that level, they're including, a cultural baseline for how they're speaking on behalf of their own advocacy. The other one was very puzzling to me, and I was saying, why the people, if you want me to support your thing, you gotta make it relatable. So Percy has put forward an interpretation that they are saying people who get 300% increase with their CSEC education, it is inequitable for that to happen, and those with PhD only get a 0.5% increase, half a percentile. Oh my goodness!
So, but look what's happening too. Because this debate continues. We would have the funding UWI hurts primary, secondary education, and this was said by the lady who is the dean of the faculty of humanities and education. Because, again, it comes back to vision. You've been saying that. Vision of what it is that we want for Jamaica. We have this 2030 vision statement, Jamaica land.
But, so let's frame the issue. UWI, we know, has been struggling financially. And the University of the West Indies, across the West Indies, a very colonial descriptor, but we still go with it. Each campus is funded by a contribution of monies from the various countries that the students come from. And UWI is like a world to itself. It exists under a royal charter, but some kind of subvention or contribution comes from state funds to support its work. Otherwise, it gets money through grant funding, the work of the professors. The truth is, UWI should have the largest, not should, they control the largest intellectual property bank or register of assets, because all of the PhD students and all the research that gets done into exciting things, even like geological studies done to see where the oil is and different things that happen, they're owned by the University of the West Indies. That's where the various studies go to be archived, and they license access to this information. If you want to go into a new area of business and you want to know what the current prospects for that are based on studies, go to UWI. It's one of the places that have research going on all the time that you can tap into for your business. Of course, you need to be sensitive to be aware that this asset is available and you can get a license to pull from it and use data that is owned by them. So they make money from licensing the use of their intellectual property assets, from grant funding, so different studies can be done into matters of great public interest, and so on. So you should not be broke. They get money from people who donate to set up different chairs or colleges or whatever. You shouldn't be broke. You should be like Harvard. have money coming in from all kinds of places that, anyway, still Yuri is broke. Why Yuri is broke, to me, speaks to just a lack of vision and sound management of the assets which they own and control. There are a lot of things which in the world will get given, donated, or put under the administration of a university as a neutral place, because if you give it to government or if you give it to the private sector, it may be abused in one way or another. It is generally assumed, and rightly so, that those in the academic community are pure in their appreciation of certain things, and they're not driven by financial or economic motives, so you can entrust certain assets to them. See, a man I knew well-ish. We sat on boards together. Owner of Island Car Rentals passed away, and he gave his collection of over 2,000 pieces of valuable artwork. He donated it to Yui. So Yui will get things like that because, yes, that collection, if Yui chooses to license it to a museum in any country for an exhibition and so on, they make money off it.
They should.
So they have assets which can. Yet Yui is in a position now where it is headlined that discussion, because you know that the government, this Minister of Education, Minister Favor Williams, seemed to have a beef with the leadership of Yui. You remember they had run an investigation on Hillary Beckles from Barbados. They were making moves to try and change the leadership of UE. So obviously one of the things they're looking at is pulling monies from UE. So having set the framework,
pull monies, pull it out.
Well, that's true.
And then
reduce their yeah. So okay, we'll frame the issue and we'll come back after the 7:30 break. What Percival has raised is, what is the likely impact of a weak university? We see UTech straining with financial issues, and UE, Icoming, or highest levels of institutions that provide training and so on. What's the impact on education at the primary and the secondary level? We're going to look at that when we return from our break.
Best 100 FM brings you youth resilience and empowerment with Royton McLaren each and every Tuesday night at 7 p.m. till 7:30 p.m. A program that can enhance the family, stabilizing youth's behavior and be empowering. So tune in to Best 100 FM each and every Tuesday night, where negative behaviors and attitude can be changed.
Maljam Auto Parts, the place with the most purchase stuff for all your Mazda needs, is doing it again. A new Maljam trailer has arrived with parts to meet any and every Mazda need. Call 461-1786 or 923-4389. Maljam Auto Parts, 9 Kingswood Avenue off Waltham Park Road, Kingston, for all your Mazda needs.
Fearless and love more. Cause to open up the door.
Live, camera, volume. Live it up Fridays on Best 100 FM. 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. with I, Ibi Lion, each and every Friday, giving you the better vibes, heard everywhere.
Veteran Printers for all your printing needs. We specialize in calendars, flyers, brochures, and more. Call us today at 968-7506. That's 968-7506. Or visit us at 4 East Bloomsbury Road, off Haggard Park Road. Veteran Printers, your best choice for printing machine.
What should a taxi service do for you? On-time taxi service is more than just a ride to the other side of town. They offer clean and spacious vehicles, reliable service, and promise to always look out for their customers. They'll come when you call and take you where you want to go on time.
anywhere. You can call us at 926-3866.
We are something special on the road.
Best 100 FM is the authentic voice of Jamaica, promoting your prosperity with better vibes and better music. Let us promote your goods and services for you. Advertise with us. For more information, call our office at 876-276-8935. That's 276-8935.
The Morning Connection is not your usual talk show. We aim to stimulate discussion and chart new paths to self-empowerment. So please join us, Minette and Percy, on The Morning Connection, Mondays to Thursdays, 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. on Best 100.
It's good. It's better, but nothing beats.
Right, so the issues in education are on the front page this morning, and they need to be on the front page because whether the education system goes in terms of educating of the people of a nation, it is linked to prosperity. Is that a fair statement?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
The professor of Coenberg, who is Sylvia Coenberg, has said that very strongly the funding UE actually means the funding primary, secondary, around early childhood education. And she was saying that there was a panel discussion that happened at UE and examined UWIMO's role in the society held on the campus yesterday. And Denzel Douglas is a very activist person. That's what I like about him. He was responsible for Mona Institute of Business. Now he's principal, and even he becoming principal was another. There's some wrangling around a drama, but he has said that they need to become even more a source of innovation and lead solutions to what happens in society in terms of doing the research and packaging it that people can have it. And so her point is that if you look at what we have done in terms of research in humanities and education, it has helped in terms of the early childhood sector, the primary and the secondary sector, in terms of training people who can actually perform and make it happen. Damon Black now, who is the executive director of the Jamaica Tertiary Education Commission and chairman of the Education Transformation Commission, him have two roles, says that, yeah, we're looking at it, but the matter of funding has been the bugbearer. So they really have to come up with what are they going to do in terms of funding that you don't defund it and then you lose the quality that you need, but you also have to balance it against the other needs that are in society. And I think this point also came out in the Patterson report, that some people are saying, yeah, you need to do something in terms of that, but it's 3 years now and we have not really done the necessary things in order to transform education for national development. I leave it at that. But
so the point they make about its impact on primary and secondary education, what do you think?
I think it's important because if you need to be continuing to do the research in terms of the training, in terms of the empowerment, because if you don't have thinkers, people who can be innovative, and it's people who bring innovation, it's not system, it's people who bring innovation with their ideas. And if people have to struggle through in terms of being trained properly, the innovation that would have happened because you're not thinking about how you're going to pay this or you're going to pay that, it's not going to happen. Because you know that when you do have a lot of pressures, it frees you up to put your energies in other places. Yeah.
Currently,
yes,
UWI does, I mean, for years, UWI has been turning out, I guess, tertiary level trained persons who are participating in the provision of education. An argument that says reducing financial support will have a great impact on primary, secondary education. Challenges one to examine the current impact that the UWI trained persons have on the provision of education now.
And she makes that point too, that UWI's School of Education has delivered educational management and leadership training to principals, aspiring principals across the region. She noted too that UWI performs quality assurance processes to ensure that the curricula delivered in teachers' colleges are informed by current scholarship and pedagogy.
So it kind of begs the question, what percentage of our teachers, schools are actually benefiting from these UWI trained persons? Because if at the planning and high execution level is a lot of UWI people, and it stays so, then it prompts a conclusion that the impact is not stellar.
Okay.
Because remember, UWI and the education ministry are about the same age. So they've been in the field together for a while.
No, you is 1960, 58.
And the Ministry of Education is actually the oldest one. It's older.
Yes,
it's older.
The first ministry we've had.
Yeah.
You have said that outside of finance.
Yeah. So it's a little older.
And this is in the fact that in July 2023, Finance Minister Dr. Nigel Clark stated that data suggests the government is underspending at the pre-primary level while overspending at the tertiary level. But you remember we were at UA when we had the struggle. Remember the struggle that then Edward Seagat made the announcement and he was Finance Minister. We're gonna turn back what Manley did in terms of free education to move the masses up, and it was a major push, and that's how the 80% happened, because up to that point it was 100% of funding. You get boarding grant, you got UA free and thing, and so those are the issues that are at play, and we have to, as a society, come up with real solutions that take all the arguments that are at work and do what is necessary so we don't lose momentum or go back to where only very elite can go to university.
In defense of the UWI position, it was said that it is their efforts over many years that have built capacity in the Jamaican teachers' colleges. It is their efforts over many years that have ensured that Jamaica no longer have schools populated by pre-trained teachers, but that they are now populated by teachers with UWI Bachelor in Education degrees. At the early childhood levels, it is the UWI working very much behind the scenes for very good reasons out of the limelight, but it is UWI which has worked to infuse academic insight into the treatment of the long-neglected early childhood sector, which has been dominated by small private initiatives by untrained persons, and we've been working to change that. This is the Professor Cowenberg defending UWI's place in the budget. Truth of the matter is, I don't think UWI should lose its place in the budget, because I don't think the contribution that Jamaica makes is so great. I don't think they're like the primary contributors, because UWI funds itself from tuition fees and other assets which it could use, I think, to greater effect. But what the government spends on UWI, without even calling numbers, I do not believe that moving it to somewhere else is going to make a major shift in the outcomes for that somewhere else. Whereas what it does for UWI is still important. So it's like a cost-benefit analysis.
That needs to be done.
Yeah.
And then now, you see this thing on education? This is the other side now. Michael Phillips, PROD's Auditor General, to probe Hart amid claims of corruption and cronyism. Because they get the education tax or the hard trust goes directly to them. And so the question is, what are we going to do? Because if he's making a call, why? Is that somebody pinch him and tell him, say, you need to?
Yes, hey, with election drawing near, everybody, you see so many kites being floated. You saw the NHT, they moved to pin the Prime Minister to some of NHT's misadventures. They did like 3 or 4 stories on Dexim. And then yesterday, they moved to some other development called Berkshire.
Oh, but Berkshire, the NHT and the people, them are bad.
Yes.
Say, no, sir.
In 10 years, NHT wicked.
Wicked, man. I look like the person developed it, but it was shoddy work, and it's not a new thing. I've heard that Berkshire before.
But remember now, you know how the relationship go. You buy it from NHT.
Yes.
The developer is accountable to NHT, but not to the homeowner.
Mm-hmm.
So NHT is on the front line to address whatever problems emerge in these developments that they fund, they finance it, and which they sell.
Yeah.
So they're on the front line. And for years, it's not that the development have problems so much as the unresponsive, kind of nonchalant attitude of the NHT. That's the big issue. Because so homeowners are saying from day one, we have been pressing for certain things, still not done. NHT has not addressed the matters.
This is serious. This is serious.
This is the hard thing.
Sure, isn't it? But so it says, we'll have to import labor to fill positions to launch his attack. Philip says there are 600,000 Jamaicans who are out of job because none of it is available or they lack the required skill set. Okay. But yet you still have an institution like that where there's nepotism, where them have jobs for them friends that is not meeting its mandate for finding and training young people, said Phillips was speaking. This is on a political platform. Yet still you have Hart who spend billions of dollars to put up a boot at Rebel Salute. It must be millions.
Millions.
But it says billions here. But that is not the people them Hart who need Hart training. You have the same management at Hart who book hotel room for millions of dollars to put on training, but still you have not students who can't get certificates who went to Hart from 2018. Wow. I thought that problem was solved.
It just swept under the carpet?
Yeah, but I thought that problem was solved. Because having been a part of that system, I know what was happening. I had to just push and on the people's case. I said, no, man, the people completed, they have done everything. Right? And there was a movement. They were churning out fast, but it looked like it not going to happen. It stopped anyway. Oh, boy. And I have to keep my, but heart. You hurt my heart.
Well, Michael Phillips is right. They need to have a massive probe into the heart.
Of the heart?
Yeah.
Well, that's what we call it.
The reason is that we are experiencing problems with human resource development, which should not be with the resources that Hart has.
Boy, it's a tough one, and but you know, one of the things too, Hart training people who do have, and they're trained, but the question is where them are gonna work. You know that is happening now in terms of some of the people who've been trained in certain skill sets. And once upon a time, there was an argument that we were training people to go overseas because a lot of people would come. I remember the housekeeping, the foods, and they're going, oh, me, I go overseas. Somebody will line up a job for me. You know, that was a thing. I said, we're not doing that. We're training people for the market. So there is always a lag between training and employment opportunities. So that's where that is at. But this thing of education, whether it is vocational training, primary, early childhood, secondary, is where we lift our nation out of where it is to a greater place of financial well-being, prosperity, whatever you call it, because it is brain power that is going to move us forward as a nation. Not the what we still have, which is a trover back from slavery, followed from slavery. Good, strong people work the fields. The world is now led by knowledge-based economy, and that's where we need to be going in terms of the training of our persons. Yeah. So it's been education, it is. Corruption, it is. Mm-hmm. Oh boy, help us.
And then corruption in education.
Oh boy.
You sound so distressed. Why?
Because my heart bleeds for my nation. My heart. And I'm saying, Father, what are we doing? Are we not, can't we respond in a way and just say, this is the way we must go? That there's a greater consensus about what the real issues are. I will not get into the politicking and that gets lost around about this time. But even now, as we are in the election season, we're still waiting to see when the local government election will be called. There are so many issues there that I believe very strongly that we just need to come together as people about under good leadership to move the situation forward. You haven't commented on
I'm just no, you mean Mr. Silvera.
Mr. Silvera and the fact that the judge says whole lot. But what are the charges though? Because I hear there's a gun charge too.
Yes, because it's about the allegation is that she was killed by injuries sustained from gunshot wounds.
You know those murder in it.
No man, remember that we single out firearm, the use of firearm in violent crimes to treat it with a greater level of care. Long time. That's why we have gun court.
Right.
And we don't have knife court. You follow?
Yeah.
Yeah, because the choice of weapon is considered relevant to the punishment, and also the gun court was so you could have a dedicated court attending to these, so they don't have to line up in the other, and you develop a certain expertise.
There's several counts relating to the death.
Yeah. So the whole issue which is occupying media's attention, and I've seen many things happen in media and go on so.
So what is it?
What is it?
Yes.
And bear in mind that this started with a story in the media.
Mm-hmm.
Mr. Silvera's issues, the media brought the story to public attention before law enforcement did.
Right.
And it's not to say that it's their story that brought it. The thing was happening, and it would have eventually moved someplace, obviously, because whatever was going on was too big to ignore. So the issue is freedom of the press. Like everything else, freedoms are enjoyed within the context of maintaining balance in a democratic society. Sure, there are some countries.
Tell me that. I'm always reminded of that.
And
balance.
It is and it's on display here because a judge whose central concern is what happens in the court to a citizen who has come before it, presumed innocent until proven guilty, not caring whether he's celebrated, notorious, famous, poor, rich, doing what scripture say when you come before the judge. Judge mustn't show you favor because you're rich, or disfavor because you're poor, or favor because you're poor and disfavor because you're rich. It's meant to be an impartial environment. And the judge is responsible for maintaining this balance and protecting the accused person.
True.
The accused person have rights, and until he's a convicted person, he's to be treated with a certain degree of care. Also, this is a case that going to have jurors one day, if it goes to trial and he's tried before a jury. So how much goes out into the media? How much of a frenzy and a scandal and a Jamaica small, we're not going to get jurors from St. Kitts or from St. Lucia or Barbados. We don't know about it. And social media is such.
I didn't talk about that. Some of the times we get news from the diaspora
before it released in Jamaica. True. So a judge has to balance some considerations on how much you permit to just run amok before you are buckling down to the
real trial.
Yes, yeah. So this judge relied on a provision of law. She didn't make it up. She wasn't exercising her any kind of original discretion, because parish court judges don't have original discretion, meaning any discretion that
parish court is not circuited.
It was no, I think it was in
circuited reach.
I thought it was in Half-a-Tree. Presiding judge. Wherever it was, wasn't it in Half-a-Tree? Or before the circuit court division of the gun court, right? So, but this judge was not exercising any original discretion. She was using a provision in the law that gives her a discretion.
Right there, according to CAD, Court of Administration.
Yeah.
It has been long established that cases before the circuit court division of the gun court are held behind closed doors to protect relevant parties such as witnesses. So she does do what?
So the judge made an order that she don't want no media, and she even borrowed family.
Yeah.
Because she didn't want any kind of sensationalism that might injure the proceedings, which are still at a very junior stage.
Okay.
So and there's nothing you missed in what happened at the first court hearing that could say that, oh, they're cooking things behind the door that cause. And it to me, for senior lawyers to join in.
Because the DPP said it was unfortunate.
Everything that she says these days is going to be unfortunate, because her tenure is unfortunate.
Oh, boy.
Her continued presence in office with the questions and the legal challenges and so on, that is what is unfortunate. But for senior lawyers to see a judge applying the law and not be able to say, to their expressing an opinion without being able to say, how has it injured the democratic process or the fair administration of justice? How? The only thing it has done is remove from the media and from public scrutiny a blow-by-blow rehashing and any kind of editorial commentary on the case. That's all it has done, because if you weren't in there, you can't write a story more than to say the judge borrowed. So that's the story.
Yeah, but even then, the Press Association came about. They issued a release.
Yes, they are describing it as a fetter on freedom of speech, on press freedom.
I must remove something from
the law.
Yeah, repeat.
Now look how many times we have wanted the press to take an interest in covering matters that are truly of public interest, that if they don't speak on it, it's not in the court, so no judge will opine on it. If the press don't go and put a story on the pages, nobody would even know that this is happening in Jamaica. How many times have we yearned for it?
Yeah, but
yet they're concerned.
Selective.
It is so selective, and it is selective in a way that you can see that it's about headlines. Because this man have political history, and it is in this day and age, this time, with elections possible looming, it is just scandalous to have him on the front page. It's to sell paper. It's not to give you or me any deeper understanding of any matter that is of public interest.
Oh, boy. Help us, Father.
Maybe the family, but if it's a situation where the judge is concerned that there may be some kind of, display of emotion, or that might be, because you also have to consider the welfare of the accused person. Justice Bertram Morrison on circuit was making some orders and commentary about this accused man, now a convicted man, the one who has been convicted of murdering the young schoolgirl Shaneka Gray.
Yeah.
Throughout, apparently, they were not giving him his lunch on time or at all. And the judge was making the point, human rights, the accused person has rights, which you have to safeguard. And a man sitting in his own trial, either hungry or depressed or whatever, has an impact on him getting due process. Due process is not just that you have ticked the box and done the right things. It is that the person is able to participate in the proceedings. So the judge exercised her discretion. I don't see why it is attracting so much
headlines.
Yes, or even if you get headlines, but they're censuring her as if to say she has participated or she has been led into error concerning the matter. And that's my opinion on it.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think now that you've heard some of the law surrounding it?
Yeah, but it's always discretion. But she's writing law.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're writing law, I'd finish. I don't have anything else to say.
Yeah, she used a provision that's in law. And this is the provision in law. In the interest of public safety, public order, or public morality, the court may direct that in relation to any witness called or appearing before the court, the name, the address of the witness, or such other particulars concerning the witness, as in the opinion of the court, so it's her discretion, should be kept confidential, shall not be published, so the press not there. No particulars of the trial other than the name of the accused, the offense charged, and the verdict and sentence shall be published without the prior approval of the court.
Okay.
And it is required, the CAD says the judge is required to give effect to the policy reflected in the statute, which is to create an environment in which witnesses could attend and participate in the proceedings without their identities being made public or any information being made public that will enable them to be identified. When persons are indicted and placed before the circuit court, there's a default presumption of ready access to the proceedings by members of the public, including the media. On the other hand, when persons are charged and placed before any division of the gun court, the High Court Division of the Gun Court and the Circuit Court Division of the Gun Court, the default position is that members of the public, including the media, are excluded unless they come within the exceptions. Of course, what's not said here is that all around the world in democratic societies, these provisions exist that control who can
go into.
Yes, the judge has. Even the gag orders that they make, there's a power that they exercise to do so. 8 o'clock, we're taking a break. 8
Beth 100 FM, broadcasting live in all 14 parishes. Hanover 100.5, 100.9. St. James 100.9. Trelawney 100.3, 100.9. St. Anne 100.3, 100.5. St. Mary 100.5. Westmoreland 100.1, 100.5. St. Elizabeth 100.1, 100.5. Manchester 100.1, 100.5. Clarendon 100.1, 100.5, 100.9. St. Catherine 100.5, 100.9. St. Andrew 100.5, 100.9. St. Thomas 100.5 and 100.9. Best FM, giving you the better vibe.
Buzz FM 100 on your dial. Keep listening.
Hello, I'm Emily Thomas with the BBC News. A court in Pakistan has sentenced the former Prime Minister, Imran Khan, to 10 years in prison on accusations of leaking classified state documents when he was in power. The case relates to diplomatic correspondence between the US and Pakistan. Mr. Khan's party described the trial as a sham. Salman Sufta is Imran Khan's lawyer.
Legally appointed legal team of Mr. Imran Khan were ousted from the proceedings, were thrown literally out of the court, and they were not given the right to cross-examine and to defend their clients. This is unconstitutional. This is against the principles of natural justice.
The Israeli military says it's killed 3 Palestinians in an undercover operation at the Ibn Sina hospital in Jenin in the occupied West Bank. Israeli military sources said the men were planning an imminent attack, identifying one of them as Mohammed Janalmana. Here's Mark Lowen from Jerusalem.
CCTV from the hospital in Jenin in the West Bank show that the Israeli forces were disguised, some of them as women, some of them as doctors, as they walked through the corridor of this hospital and then found a room where 3, in their words, terrorists were sheltering, and they killed all 3 of them with guns fitted with silencers. Now, one of them has been claimed by Hamas as a member, and 2 of them by Hamas's spin-off organization, Palestinian Islamic Jihad.
A general strike is taking place in the Kurdish region of Iran in protest at the execution of 4 Kurdish prisoners accused of collaborating with Israel. Iranian and international human rights groups condemned the executions, which have provoked anger in the region and prompted Kurdish opposition parties to call for the strike. More details from Chiar Gol of the BBC Persian service.
Many shops in major Kurdish cities in the northwest of Iran are closed. Videos we have received suggest some places have entirely shut down, despite pressure from security forces. The execution of 4 Kurdish prisoners accused of collaborating with Israel has caused anger in the region, as well as condemnation from Iranian and international human rights groups who had been demanding a fair trial. Kurdish groups say the accusations of collaborating with Israel are unfounded.
Ukraine's military says it continues to repel attacks from Russian forces trying to surround the eastern town of Avdiivka on the front line. It's been under relentless Russian bombardment for months. Citizens who've been evacuated have told the BBC Russian troops recently seized several streets in the southern part of the shattered town. It was the first time that Russians had managed to enter Avdiivka. The main Ukrainian official there, Vitaly Barabash, said they'd since been pushed out. World News from the BBC. One of Russia's most prominent dissidents, Vladimir Karamazov, has been transferred to a different jail, also in the Siberian city of Omsk. His wife, Yevgenia, has published a handwritten letter from her husband to his lawyer a day after having raised concerns about his whereabouts. More details from Danny Eberhard.
Vladimir Karamazov, a persistent critic of President Putin, is serving a 25-year sentence. He was convicted last year of treason, having criticized the war in Ukraine, a sentence condemned by the United Nations. In his handwritten letter, he says he was moved from solitary confinement in one Siberian jail to solitary in the punishment block of a different one, so that, in his words, life doesn't seem like honey. But Mr. Karamazov wrote it was warm there, and he was fine. He said he'd been told he'd be in solitary for 4 months, but noted wryly that such stays can be extended.
Russia has been stripped of its gold medal in the team figure skating event at the 2022 Beijing Winter Olympics. It follows Monday's decision by the Court of Arbitration for Sport to issue a backdated ban on the Russian skater Kamila Valieva for doping offences. The United States posted record international arms sales last year, in part boosted by the war in Ukraine. It sold weapons worth $238 billion, with direct sales by US defence companies to foreign nations accounting for the majority. Norway's sovereign wealth fund, the world's largest, made record profits of more than $200 billion last year. The fund invests the state's large revenues from oil and gas and is now worth more than $1.6 trillion, or almost $300,000 per Norwegian citizen. The strong returns were driven by investment in technology stocks and helped by the weakness of the Norwegian kroner. That was the latest world news from the BBC, with me, Emily Thomas, in London.
Praise the Lord, praise the Lord. God is good. This is already Pastor and friend, Reverend Simon Peter Jones, inviting you, my friends, to listen every Tuesday evening on Best 100 FM at 7:30 p.m. for the program, The Voice of Hope, as we extend hope to the hopeless in this dying world. God is good. Be encouraged. Hope is in the Lord.
Best 100 FM brings you youth, resilience, and empowerment with Royton McLaren each and every Tuesday night at 7 p.m. till 7:30 p.m. A program that can enhance the family, stabilizing youth's behavior, and be empowering. So tune in to Best 100 FM each and every Tuesday night. We're
Auto Parts, 9 Kingswood Avenue off Waltham Park Road, Kingston, for all your Mazda needs.
Greetings, brothers and sisters. I invite you to join us for the Church of Our Lord Jesus Christ radio program with Elder Kendrick Murray, where we stand firm that Jesus Christ is the Son of God. This broadcast is heard every Saturday from 12 noon to 1 p.m. and again on Sundays from 4 to 5 p.m. The church is located at 3550 Pleasant Valley Road here in Mobile, Alabama, in the United States. You may visit our website at sonofgodlives.org or our YouTube page at Minister K. Murray, or you may call us at area code 251-300-8812. God bless you, and we look forward to you tuning in to the program.
For a better choice in all your electrical supplies, A, authorized 3M dealer and better brand names. B, better service including free island-wide delivery. C, all major credit and debit cards accepted. It's ABC Electrical Sales, shop number 8, Hagley Park Plaza, Kingston 10. Open Monday to Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m., Saturday, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. We make your electrical jobs as easy as ABC. Call 754-3825-8 or fax 754-3659. ABC Electrical Sales, for a better choice.
Half a tree. One already, 200. Ready, mama? Ready. Is this the confusion you feel when trying to work your way through medical systems in Jamaica? Try a dose of Ask Dr. Mary every Thursday at 5 to 6 p.m. Let Dr. Mary help you understand your medical problems and bring you to a calmer place.
Do you need reliable health care? We have it. Yes, we do. Great George Street Pharmacy. Shop number 897 Great George Street, Savannah Lamar, West Woodland. Opening hours, Mondays to Saturdays, 8:30 a.m. to 6 p.m. Call us at 876-603-7372 or WhatsApp us at 876-205-0499. Yes, we have reliable health care for you at Great George Street Pharmacy, Savannah Lamar.
Careless and love. Touch open up.
Live, camera, volume. Live It Up Fridays on Best 100 FM. 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. with I, Ibiliad, each and every Friday, giving you the better vibes heard everywhere.
Things and watch me fly.
Best 100 FM is the authentic voice of Jamaica, promoting your prosperity with better vibes and better music. Let us promote your goods and services for you. Advertise with us. For more information, call our office at 876-276-8935. That's 276-8935.
The Morning Connection is not your usual talk show. We aim to stimulate discussion and chart new paths to self-empowerment. So please join us, Minette and Percy, on The Morning Connection Mondays to Thursdays, 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. on Best 100.
It's good. It's better, but nothing beats.
Good morning. Welcome back to the Morning Connection. It is now 14 minutes after 8 o'clock in the morning, and it's that time that we open the lines so you can speak to us. The numbers to call are 876-619-1508, 876-279-8473. We've said a mouthful this morning, but we really began with the Samuel telling the people farewell. Like he was saying, all right, tell me. But if anything from you? Have I oppressed you? Am I a corrupt person? And they said no. And we were just reflecting in our national situation. If there's any leader, we believe who can stand up and make that claim. And then we saw the headline, no fishing, with the Integrity Commission saying, ICC investigating omissions not invading privacy in probing statutory declarations. And of course, all of what that speaks to is the whole question of stewardship, of resources, of power, stewardship in relation what has been given to us as gentle people. Good morning, caller. Thank you for calling.
Hello.
Good morning.
How are you?
Yes, Pastor. Morning, Miss Minute.
Harry, how are you?
Yes, morning, Pastor. Yes, me there, man. Still, everything all right so far. Me there on the hillside, yeah. You know, I feed so animal and things.
What kind of animals you feeding? Goat, cow, goats, okay.
Yeah, I get it from the cow to you. You know what I'm saying? Please take a statement with that story from my grandfather. One time.
They had a truck.
Yes, but then you see truck and load it in. So right now you see me there and stuff now. If Steve never carried out that they will need to be a better off person and we need not be a struggle so much.
Really, Harry, you're saying the 7 heads of cattle stolen from your grandfather had the effect of causing you to struggle today?
Yes, because you know.
Line it up for me.
Right, so we had a new truck in so we need and 72 trucks. So that was one of our main income at that time. That's why you see, as I said, the Bible tells you of any money. That's how we love them. But if you hear a person doing them type of thing, you know, so now people are doing anything, you know. But we can't love him like how we love myself.
Okay, so that experience interfered with your ability to love and forgive and humbug you right up to today?
No, not to forgive, but them person we can't really hug them like how we hug up your neighbors anymore. Honest.
Yeah, well, one of the reasons I asked you is because a lot of us have discrete events that we can all remember that happened to us in our childhood or, you know, even as adults. And those events, even if you can't quite see a straight line between them and how things turn out, they have the impact of just tying us up. But it is something that you can overcome. This is the deliverance work.
The forgiveness.
Yeah.
Yes, me understand it, but one more tell you, you love them people that you love myself. And the next one again, you see the man who killed my daughter, or could have killed 2 of my grandkids. You know, so now doing nothing, but me can't love him like how me love myself. You get me? I tell you straight.
Yes. Well, I'll tell you something. It is only through the renewal of your mind in Christ that a human being is able to achieve that level of love and forgiveness. by ourselves, left to our own devices, we cannot do it.
Yeah.
We can't do it. And if you study the Old Testament, you will see that before Christ came, under Old Testament law, they had to create cities where refugees could go and hide from what they call the avenger of blood, because they knew that man without Christ could not balance himself and calm his temper so he could forgive. He was entitled to just take an eye for an eye.
Yeah, but I tell you, it's tough. It's so calm. It's a who favorite roses. Yeah. So I know you cannot go with a partner. So I want to smile that you know.
Yes.
But we must remember that in America is that our life blood comes from remittance and tourism, you know. Right, and farming was a part of it, and farming dying out now, farming slowly dying out now. So you see the remittance, we have to anchor because right now we are telling you that I think we get actually every 2 months. And half of my remittance gone. And why? When my family demise and call me and say, Barry, this race, that race, this race. So we have to share with them.
Yeah.
When we check in Jamaica, our economy not have no root. Because at the end of the day, I'm going to tell you something. Back in the day, when my grandmother died, right, I went to when my mother sent money from India and paid, she couldn't send more than 50 pounds at any one time, you know. Right, because the English government black and black and not more than 50 pounds can live. By one person at the moment. So you know what my mother did have to do? You have to give one person 50 pounds return, give one next person 50 pounds return, so you couldn't make up to the amount. So as we say, Jamaica have no root when it comes to their poor. So that's why we have to do that to keep them have a lot of talk because they lack of freedom issues.
It would increase the burden on Jamaica to provide a net or some kind of social welfare program for those who, without the assistance from family overseas, wouldn't make it. So yeah, listen, I believe they have a voice. I don't believe they have a vote, but I believe they have a voice. How they express that voice is something that should be managed. They ought not to have more access to government than we who live here and choose the government have, and sometimes it seems as if they do. Their voice should be expressed through their family members whom they continue to support. And you see, like when your family in England said to you, "Bye-bye, we can't send you what we used to send because we over here have inflation too." You now need to advocate with your government because you should be able to make a living here.
That is it.
I think you can't make it out even as farmers, I tell you. Farming is dying out. You understand? Farmers in the show last week with the fertilizer when it comes to farmers. Me as farmer, them a call and I say, I have to tell me it.
You know, have to buy it and probably at a premium.
Yeah. So you see, when you check him, you don't know about it. You don't look good. Because when me are looking at my senior now, when me check it, I go tough for you. You're not going to get easier. It's going to be tougher and tougher. So you just have to stand up and put on the armor.
Yeah.
You're not going to do.
That is true. That is true. But, you know, and one of the things that is why when you are in authority, you have delegated authority or responsibility, you have to be circumspect and you have to visionary. You have to think about everybody. And that is, yeah, because when you, when you as a politician, you have the access to get fertilizer, all right? and you know the farmers need it, and you give it to a little you to run up and down there, and you wanna say whatever power show, and then when suppose we give him friend him and come and ask how much you are giving money for, you know, said that cut the process even worse.
Yes.
And so
it's pretty whole system because as I say, our people as a farmer so that we can produce more to feed the nation. And when we not get it, so everything has fallen down around me. You get me?
yeah, so that is it. That is the challenge, my brother. And it just it's self-defeating the whole process when you do what you do. It's unfortunate.
Yes, but I don't know, but when you check it ahead in our people, because even in the World War III starting up after.
World War III start?
Yes, then you are going in a Red Sea and all over the place with US and UN fight and Iran and Cuba and things.
Okay.
Oh, my brother, at any given time, there are a number of wars of different levels of severity being waged across the world. All the time. All the time. It's just what we get to hear about and where the media puts their focus and their attention. But the world is always in some level of yeah. It's when you say it's gonna pull up one of those charts that show you how many conflicts are being waged across the globe. Right
escalated over the year.
Right now, yeah.
So we just have to watch and play and
come on.
Right. So respect, you know, bring up our call and we play as worldwide, you know, man, big up.
You know, you remember the yesterday somebody mentioned the truckload of fertilizer.
That was delivered at midnight, and Minette said it's just to avoid traffic and
it's to avoid traffic
and move early.
In the morning. They can early distribute.
Yes, man, the farmers can have it.
It was interesting that it was done at Whitehall. Whitehall
a booming farming district.
Yes.
Known to be the mecca of farming.
Yes, in northeastern St. Andrew.
St. Andrew.
Yeah, man. Wow. It was interesting that was said, but the lady who was overcome it all, that's Whitehall, that's where that area too she came from.
Urban has asked on the chat, do you know of any country that when a person is arrested, he or she is guilty until proven innocent? Yes, it is so in countries like Italy, countries that apply the Napoleonic Code, which St. Lucia did also.
Napoleonic Code?
Yes.
Is that?
This is just different to the common law. The code, all of the law is written. There's no common law that governs things. Everything flow based on the law. They turn it around where when you are charged with a crime, you must disprove
that innocence.
Yeah, you have to demonstrate your innocence. Good morning and welcome.
Morning.
Good morning, sir.
Morning, Cruz. How are you?
Not bad. Well, for the past how many years, most of the war is starting on this world, start by Europe. Isn't that true, Pastor?
Wars that have been started in this world.
Yeah.
You tell me you have the information. I have to double check that.
Yes, sir. That's something that needs factual.
Most of the war will start past maybe 100 years. I've been more than that. European, white men, white people, white men, them started. And still I do it.
But so that is to say what? Why are you mentioning it? I just want to know. What I'm trying to...
No.
Yeah.
No, true, we just hear Barry talk about world war. And
So you're saying it's not we. You're saying it's not the Africans making trouble and stirring up.
We don't make a move with trouble white people make. You check history. White people always want what they want, and then we kill to get it, and them still do it.
All right. This morning I was reading just in one of a statement that I read in my devotional material, and it was just emphasizing that Christ came to teach the world that through the forgiveness of sins, we can achieve peace. And then one of the Old Testament prophets, Isaiah, saying that the fruit of the righteousness of God is peace. So that if men were to forgive one another of the insults and the injuries and the sins, the crimes against each other, if we were to practice forgiveness, which would be an exercise of the righteousness of God, we would live in peace.
Yeah, I heard that part, but I see some simple thing that God don't plan to forgive us for.
What are those things? According to Cruz law.
So many 10 commandments where women are really them think that that's serious.
Like what, so?
Anyway,
but remember that.
Can you play one song to me? I'm going to ask you to play a song, you know.
What song is it?
The last, I asked, one time I asked him to play a song for me. It was a Michael Jackson. One day in my No, I don't want that song, but I think that song I could ask for it on the radio. But some song I would ask. I don't think it.
So tell us the song, no man. Which song? Tell me the song you think about.
Let's Fall in Love. Amari.
Let's fall in love?
Yeah, Amari.
Okay, sir.
You heard it, Mr. Engineer?
That's my present girlfriend.
Mr. Cruz wants permission to fall in love with the present girl. You don't want wifey?
No, that's all right, man. Pastor can't get that right.
All right.
Cruz, one quick question for you before you leave us. Do you know who is running on the local government ticket in your area, Santa Cruz, for the PMP and the JLP?
I only know the PMP one. I don't know the JLP one.
All right. Okay. We're taking our break now, so if you call us back,
His name is Nemard.
Nemard.
Okay, then. All right.
Good man.
Grandson. That great man that was the man that was great in this town. His grandson, Beagle.
Okay.
All right.
All right, my friend. Bye.
All right.
Goodness mercy, it's me again, Lord, your restorer, your game changer. Join me every Saturday morning at 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. and Best FM 100. It's Apostle Clive Campbell, a.k.a. the Khaki Suit Man, coming to you from 8 to 12 Orange Street, also Richmond District, Mandeville. Embrace the change.
Praise the Lord, praise the Lord. God is good. This is already Pastor and friend, Reverend Simon Peter Jones, inviting you, my friends, to listen every Tuesday evening on Best 100 FM at 7:30 p.m. for the program, The Voice of Hope, as we extend hope to the hopeless in this dying world. God is good. Be encouraged. Hope is in the Lord.
Best 100 FM brings you youth resilience and empowerment with Royton McLaren each and every Tuesday night at 7 p.m. till 7:30 p.m. A program that can enhance the family, stabilizing youth's behavior and be empowering. So tune in to Best 100 FM each and every Tuesday night where negative behaviors and attitude can be changed.
Maljam Auto Parts, the place with the most purchased stuff for all your Mazda needs, is doing it again. A new Maljam trailer has arrived with parts to meet any and every Mazda need. Call 461-1786 or 923-4389. Maljam Auto Parts, 9 Kingswood Avenue off Waltham Park Road, Kingston, for all your Mazda needs.
For a better choice in all your electrical supplies, A, authorized 3M dealer and better brand names. B, better service including free island-wide delivery. C, all major credit and debit cards accepted. It's ABC Electrical Sales. Shop number 8, Hagley Park Plaza, Kingston 10. Open Monday to Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m., Saturday, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. We make your electrical jobs as easy as ABC. Call 754-3825-8 or fax 754-3659. ABC Electrical Sales, for a better choice.
Best 100 FM is the authentic voice of Jamaica, promoting your prosperity with better vibes and better music. Let us promote your goods and services for you. Advertise with us. For more information, call our office at 876-276-8935. That's 276-8935.
The Morning Connection is not your usual talk show. We aim to stimulate discussion and chart new paths to self-empowerment. So please join us, Minette and Percy, on The Morning Connection, Mondays to Thursdays, 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. on Best 100 FM.
It's good, it's better, but nothing beats.
Morning, welcome back to the Morning Connection. It's now 8:35 a.m. Lines are open for you to call us 876-619-1508, 876-279-8473. So just explain.
To the question that Earl Brown asked, is there any country where a person is arrested and he or she is guilty until proven innocent? And I was explaining, yes, there are countries. I remember in recent memory, there was that American couple who were charged with killing a roommate or something, and they were being tried in Italy. And because the Italian Code of Criminal Procedure is built on a whole different foundation from the American system of criminal justice, it was very confusing to just watch them trying to understand what on earth is going on in Italy, where the prosecutor builds a case against you, and when the prosecutor makes the charge, you have to disprove what he's saying. So it's the turnaround where the defendant has to prove their innocence. Yeah. Most countries that come out of the English common law, yeah, they have innocent until proven guilty. Because this is what the freedom of man entails, that it is the state that needs to show that you're guilty and you're entitled to remain silent.
So the thing, you don't open your mouth to incriminate yourself. So
right.
Plead the fifth.
Yeah. So what they in those countries, by the time a prosecutor is charging you, they have gathered evidence and they have a case. So as far as they're concerned, you now must disprove the case that has been mounted against you. Here, I much prefer the adversarial. So our system is adversarial, where prosecutor and defendant are pitted against each other, and
some people get off on technicalities.
And that
somebody's on the line. Good morning, caller. Thank you for calling me.
We're pressing it that laugh from.
Good morning, November.
Good morning, African. How you doing?
Then I'm a person and I give thanks right now.
Yes, what's up? What's on your mind this morning?
It's good to be here.
Well, listen.
Germany and Spain.
Yes.
The policymaker then pass the people and say demonstrate and open mash up the two countries there now.
Okay. What are the issues in Germany and Spain that's happening? Are you saying as we speak there are protests in Germany and Spain?
Yes,
So I'm asking, are they protesting on issues similar to what's of concern to Jamaica?
Yes, but we not protest.
Okay.
Well, it would be unfair to say we're not protesting, because you take academic staff were out mounting a silent protest, and all around the island people are expressing their dissatisfaction. But you're talking about taking to the streets?
I thought every one of them to come together and protest.
Yeah, but there are different forms of protest. I'm asking, you're talking about take to the street?
You're up on the street to protest.
No, African. What we're doing here now is one form of protest.
Yeah, I know in the media. But I know the media. You know the media work, I just want to look up outside and protest.
No.
The majority of the media, no protest.
Well, they are protesting very loudly about being excluded from court.
Yeah, man, that's no going on. Let's go and protest for that, man.
Well, you see, what I'm highlighting for you is that protests of different types will come about when people are in agreement on something. You alone wanting to do some, don't make it into. It will not cause a protest to emerge if it's you alone wanting to do it in a particular way.
In America, the African church people, next month, the following month, they are coming out.
Yes.
And they got demonstrate the atrocity we have gone in the Palestinians against the Palestinians.
Yes, you're not following me. I'm saying protest of a certain type comes out of people feeling the same way about it. What's more important in Jamaica would be you say protest. If the majority of people feel the way you do about whatever issue you are calling for people to protest, then it will happen.
Well, maybe I have to look me album and watch you see,
But there have been one or two persons who one go stand up with them placard and mount their protest.
You remember the man that was on top of the last year, the firefighter was on top of the transport center. You remember that?
I'm on a plan to take him life. Eh?
No, man, he was protesting against what was happening in the fire services and how they were not paid and things.
Workers' rights.
Yeah.
Yeah, that kind of protest is a kind of restricting life.
Oh, okay, yeah.
But it got attention. It got attention. It got attention. The whole purpose of protesting is to bring a certain level of attention to your issue. So you have to be prepared to take a risk.
Yes, so another clump down out of the housing trust again there.
Another
clump.
Clump? You mean money?
Yeah, finger away.
Oh, just finger. That's what you call it. Yeah. Okay, all right. So you're talking about the protests, the ones that are being mounted by the farmers in Germany? That one you're talking about? With them tractor? That one?
Hello?
African gone. But that is 1,000. You can imagine 10,000 tractors. The people that in produce just drive them tractor upon the Brandenburg Bridge. I remember going there when I went to Germany. That famous thing, and I'm saying I can't imagine it 10,000 tractors.
Whoa! That headline talks about far right.
Yeah,
it's a fascist movement?
No, just people protesting against the coalition government in terms of what they see. But some people say it might be an opening for the far right alternative for Germany party. On the chaos, they said the chaos because
always draws out the crazy.
Yeah, multiple other protests are planned across the country. It comes shows coalition struggles to fix a budget crisis. And official data showed Germany's economy shrunk last year for the first time since the onset of the COVID pandemic. So he has a lot of problems. Rally against tax rises and subsidy cuts. People them not letting up. And they're doing it in the cold,
So they're serious.
They're serious about it. Good morning, caller. Thank you for calling the Morning Connection. It's now 8:43.
The connection cut a while ago.
Yes, we were calling for you.
When we have to know, the people them and demonstrate to the government that import all kind of things and for them goods become stagnant, then now make no money, then now get no money. And that them are demonstrate about, you know.
Okay, so it's talking about the farmers in Germany and the other people. That's what you were referring to.
Yes, my brethren.
Okay, and the same thing happening in Spain too.
And the same thing happening in Jamaica, but we now demonstrate that we are saying.
Okay, so you're saying, but Minute was trying to point out to you that there are different ways you can protest, you know.
You don't have any tractor down here.
The people who own the tractors are not putting it out for protest.
They're not going to put it out.
So we have to go get something for ourselves.
Well, what are you thinking?
We want to protest, man. That's what we want to protest. Too much cold dog, man.
Yeah, but you're saying you're saying we African protests, public demonstration on the street come about in two ways. Something happens and people spontaneously erupt because it reached boiling point. Or political activists or other activists plan protests, mobilize people and move them out. Protests, you one man, you're not hearing me now. You, as an individual calling for a protest, don't bring it into being, because people need to be in agreement on what they're protesting and have the same feel about it. And what's happening in Germany, not happening in Jamaica, really. Jamaicans are not seeing their goods spoil on the shelf. Jamaicans are spending money that they don't have. What Jamaicans need? What goods Jamaicans produce that are being spoiled on the shelf while we're importing other things?
That's why they don't want to demonstrate that they not produce nothing, they not worth nothing.
So whatever logic you're applying to say that they're not moving to protest, however you apply that logic, people need a reason to protest and they have to be in agreement on it. Manufacturers in Germany or any country who see their own goods that they invest in, the people who are protesting are not poor people. When poor people protest, they get tear gas.
The people who are protesting in Germany is not the manufacturer them.
The farmers.
It's the farmer them, Miss Minette.
Farmers are business people. You think farming is a joke?
It's
not subsistence farmers that try to plant 2 Will.i.am and get it sold. Farming is big business.
It is not the manufacturer then.
Yes, but I'm not talking about manufacturers, African. I'm pointing to you that people who are protesting to protect their business, farming is business.
Yes, it them a protect.
Yes, so who are the business people in Jamaica that should be protesting? Farmers in Jamaica are trying to get fertilizer from the patrimony of government.
I don't see a protest. We not talk about business people have a protest. They're not importing enough man and so much enough food, Miss Minette.
All right, you start a protest.
Huh?
I'm telling you to start a protest. Go out there with your placard, and even if your protest is to say, join me in protesting, start it, because when you start, those who are of like mind will see you and come to you and say, oh, a long time I didn't want to do that, I never know anybody was in.
Never make one placard. And when you pass, the next time you have a with it.
I am going to take a picture of it, because we have to start. People have... Yeah, okay, good. I applaud you for that. I'm encouraging you. And don't feel bad that people don't readily join you. What you feel strongly about, you push for it, something will manifest.
I mean, I give thanks to the American Christian them. We have demonstrate
justice in Palestine.
We are going against the Palestinian people them. Because the Jamaica Christian them don't see no crazy night. Them nice are alright to them for them big church and them big car and all that. And all them nice things and what them have. Them nice,
All right, sir.
That time, I don't want Jamaica to come to certain things, because I know that them first I feel it, the people who have them nice things,
All right, then. All right,
my brother.
Good.
It's good to be here, November.
All right. I can, as I was saying, I can understand protesting, but you have to be careful. You have to know what your motivation for protesting.
A protest won't happen without a mobilizing force. And one voice calling out for it just means that one man need to get up and go and raise his placard and say, this is what I'm protesting about. The media is starved for information because they were barred from court, so they'll find you. Media look for things. This morning, Lowell said to me, they barred you from court. I'm like, well, I wasn't going to court. This is your media.
No, what it is thing.
No.
But I think this is just something that Jamaicans are protesting about the political process. That's why they're not voting, you think?
Yes, because you can mount a silent protest.
Okay, yeah.
Just like how you can do a hunger strike. Who does a hunger strike hurt?
Yourself.
Thank you. And all of the prison people, they must say, I hope he dies.
but there are some people at the hunger strike, and it brought so much attention to the issue that it...
Yes, because you have to know where, if you have leverage in... If your death would mean your influence increase, then they don't want you to die.
Yeah,
so those are the persons who can go on hunger strike. The one whose death means more than their life.
Right. So in death, we are more powerful than
like Christ.
Yeah. So some people don't want that, They don't want to keep you dead.
They want to keep you alive at all costs because your death means more than your life. Good morning and welcome to the Morning Connection.
Good morning, top lady. Good morning, General.
Good morning, Dave. How are you?
Good. Question, minute and pass. That judge lady, does she have the power? Well, making a decision by barring out the media. She has the power to just say that she has to go through a body of people.
No, she has the power. She has control.
She's a judge.
And she has the competence to interpret the law and to apply it as she sees best in the interest of justice, really. A lot of talk is about public interest because that's one of the considerations that she has to take into account before she make her decision. It is said that she met with the media, with the journalists inside the courtroom at the first hearing, and she said permission would not be granted to cover the proceedings and that maybe she would allow coverage at some later time in the proceedings. And the court administration department has been careful to put into the public domain information that charges, gun court proceedings are generally closed because they protect the identity of witnesses and some of the information that has to be disclosed in the court proceedings. They don't want that in the public domain prematurely. Yes, because when the trial is underway, sometimes you're barred from the entire trial, and only when the case is finished and a decision is written and the judge now lay out what the evidence was and so on and so forth, that you get to hear exactly what went on. If you think about it, some of the information that was disclosed when they had the massive gang trial, some of the information about how you plan the gang, how you finance the gang, how you run the gang, how the communication system work, there might have been somebody there taking notes saying, all right, my gang need to improve. You understand? Somebody is finding it very instructive that a gang leader is speaking on certain things and the members are speaking on certain things, and judges have to trust them
to balance it.
We have to trust them. That's why I think those lawyers, experienced people who are calling it unfortunate and saying they're not sure that what she did was right, they are playing to the gallery. And they should really say more. Since they think she may not have done all she needed to do, you explain it then to the public, as I am doing. Say what you think could be wrong with it.
Could be wrong, right.
So people have a fear.
And to be very sensitive to the fact that the particular person who was involved in the probably thinking, common criminal.
Don't get the same right. Yes, they're looking at it from thank you. So which is a very emotive stand to take. You have to consider when bail applications are being made, one of the things that the judge have to consider is the nature of the allegations. So some things that should not be in the public domain yet, you're gonna hear the prosecutor saying, this man was accused of shooting his wife here or there, or what he did and how he did it, and this kind of crime, he should never be on bail, and he's a flight risk because he owns this and he does that. At the stage of bail applications, all kinds of things are said. The evidence is going to show that this and that and whatever. And if the media is there hearing it, and then the evidence never shows that, or that never come out, but they are correctly saying, counsel for the prosecution said so and so, defense lawyer said so and so. You are broadcasting information about a case that is yet to be tried, for whom jurors have to be selected, and even the family members may hear things that just, this is not how you get it out. Now, I'm using my experience, what I see in court, what I've learned, to say that a judge with knowledge and experience can understand that at this stage, we don't need all of that media attention.
We don't need the circus.
We don't need the circus.
Well, to protect certain evidence, then I don't have a problem. But the problem we have with most of these children, I just can't understand, is they just act like they're God. Even if you check, it's like the U.S. police, then. The U.S. police, most of them,
yes,
are 95% of them are killed. If they come on the scene, they don't, if they say doing wrong, and the police, they don't talk to them.
Yes.
At least Jamaican police, most of them are not like that. Some of them are not like that. But once the American police come on the scene to assist with colleagues, the pure colleagues are cut out the ways, they put in that, rolling and somewhere. And I find it with most church. They're going to do some petty thing that them treat you away, like, they just make it so uncomfortable. I know it's that psychology when using, but trust me, they don't.
Let me tell you, a judge has to be careful of saying too much or saying too little. But if I were a judge, I would err on the side of saying little. Because when the judge speaks, what the judge says is being weighed by everybody to see whether the judge make up her mind already. Is she disclosing any kind of bias? So a judge needs to say as little as possible until it is time to address matters of law.
Very uncomfortable inside there. I can imagine people who are totally inexperienced.
That is why you get lawyers. And I'm not advertising for lawyers. But yeah.
They do that, and especially to some of the petty things. Because I remember one time, I never a minibus, so I told I give it up because I was on leave and I decided to drive it nowadays. And I give it up because of the extortion.
Yes, yes.
And I told him,
yes.
When a policeman charged me for no stoplight. I go through the stoplight. And when I explained to the judge, I said, yeah, I'm going to be practical now. Why would I want to risk my life and the passenger rights? And I be the car to just go through the night like something wrong. The judge I said, look like me talk too much, so she have a place that you can make me go sit down in our club at Central. I work it out. And I said, wow, obviously she had tell me, say, me have my right to talk. Right, oh, she had something to say.
No, she's saying, let me give you a fresh perspective on that experience in court. Court is a technical environment, and it's one of the places where a lot of time and effort is invested in preserving the authority of the court. A witness in court gives evidence. When it comes to the stage where arguments are to be taken, if arguments are being taken, you make them based on the evidence that has been given. No judge wants either an accused person or a witness posing arguments. When you say to a judge, why would I, as a businessman, risk my business by doing so and so. You're arguing with the judge. You stick with your evidence. You didn't do it. If there are witnesses, I have witnesses from the bus who saw that the bus was stationary at the light at the appropriate time. I only moved off. Court is a technical place, and that's why people train to appear in court. And if you have a lawyer, your lawyer will do for you what needs to be done. And the lawyer posing a question to the judge, it is received because the lawyer is in a representative capacity. So if you never remember anything else, when you go to court, if you're a witness, your job is to give evidence when asked. And even if you're representing yourself, you wait. You're not posing any question to the judge or putting any hypothetical arguments. The judge is going to see you as someone who's arguing and will not want the authority of the court to be tested in that way, especially when you have 40 people waiting to be dealt with who see you do it and get away with it and get up hands akimbo to pose the argument to the judge. No, it will not happen.
Oh God, yes.
Oh God.
In Hanover.
God. Yeah. Yes, my man. I tell you about the police in the community work.
Oh.
I'm tell you about that. Yeah. If you have a police and officer that they do regular walk and patrol up and down and check with the business and everything like 10 walk in a man never running around supermarket time. If the police do regular patrol. The police, them are not patrolling minute. I was on the road last night about the same thing. I don't say one police that.
Police patrol wouldn't assist with that, because you can't keep patrol going 24 hours. That is something happen in the dark of night.
Why we can't try to keep in the era, like you live in the era and know the era, like a decent.
Speaking about Dave, speaking about that lady did not fall into that problem because of poor security measures. If you talk about community life, this is a 91-year-old woman living by herself. Yeah. And it's the second time they rape her. And her closest neighbor, is saying, I try to keep to sleep lightly so I can hear if she call out. There's nobody living with her. There's nobody supervising her. They're not talking about the state need to intervene. She's in a community. She doesn't have no family, no good friend. There's no way that anyone can afford better care to a 91-year-old woman, so that somebody is treating her in such a shameful way.
Yeah.
That is more about the community.
Dave, we're going to take the break.
We'll pass the break, Dave. Let's take the break. If you could stay with us, I'd appreciate it. Yeah. That's more about community than about security and police. That the man had time to take out take out the louvers out of her window, go into her house and rape her repeatedly. What did I live by myself at 91? God take me home. And it's another man sleeping.
91-year-old woman.
And maybe I did rape her the
mic was open.
Goodness mercy, it's me again, Lord, your restorer, your game changer. Join me every Saturday morning at 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. and Best FM 100. It's Apostle Clive Campbell, a.k.a. the Khaki Suit Man, coming to you from 8 to 12 Orange Street, also Richmond District, Mandeville. Embrace the change.
Praise the Lord, praise the Lord. God is good. This is already Pastor and friend, Reverend Simon Peter Jones, inviting you, my friends, to listen every Tuesday evening on Best 100 FM at 7:30 p.m. for the program, The Voice of Hope, as we extend hope to the hopeless in this dying world. God is good. Be encouraged. Hope is in the Lord.
Half a tree, 100. Bossy, how we do I take taxi start?
Chano, I want to tell you, say, 2 months now, my transmission mash up, and I check everybody and can't hear nothing positive.
Yeah, hear me? Yeah, waste all that time I shop around and never call the experts. Winters Auto have them. Them have over 35 years of experience and them diagnose your problem and get back your transmission brand new. With them service excellent and efficient. Trust me, man. Yeah, hear me? Call them at 929-7040. Or go to them at 106 Maxfield Avenue, Kingston 13 and talk directly to the boss. Just tell them I'm me, send you.
You big star. Yeah, man, respect my boss.
Try and call him, cause trust me.
What a relief.
What should a taxi service do for you? On-Time Taxi Service is more than just a ride to the other side of town. They offer clean and spacious vehicles, reliable service, and promise to always look out for their customers. They'll come when you call and take you where you want to go on time.
You can call us at 926-3866. We are something special on the road.
Do you need reliable health care? We have it. Yes, we do. Great George Street Pharmacy. Shop number 897 Great George Street, Savannah, Lamar, Westmoreland. Opening hours, Mondays to Saturdays, 8:30 a.m. to 6 p.m. Call us at 876-603-7372 or WhatsApp us at 876-205-0499. Yes, we have reliable health care for you at Great George Street Pharmacy, Savannah, Lamar.
For a better choice in all your electrical supplies, A, authorized 3M dealer and better brand names. B, better service including free island-wide delivery. C, all major credit and debit cards accepted. It's ABC Electrical Sales. Shop number 8, Hagley Park Plaza, Kingston 10. Open Monday to Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Saturday, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. We make your electrical jobs as easy as ABC. Call 754-3825-8 or fax 754-3659. ABC Electrical Sales, for a better choice.
Best 100 FM is the authentic voice of Jamaica, promoting your prosperity with better vibes and better music. Let us promote your goods and services for you. Advertise with us. For more information, call our office at 876-276-8935. That's 276-8935.
The Morning Connection is not your usual talk show. We aim to stimulate discussion and chart new paths to self-empowerment. So please join us, Minette and Percy, on The Morning Connection, Mondays to Thursdays, 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. on Best 100 FM.
It's good. It's better, but nothing beats.
Good morning and welcome back. Oh, Earl Brown has captivated my interest with a reference to our old Jamaican case, the case of Mr. Hilton and the dead wife, Lurleen, 1954 to 1955. Earl, you sent Pastor Percival researching. We found the case. It is an exciting read. And Percy's going to do the next caller while I read the case.
Good morning, caller. Welcome to the Morning Connection. How are you?
Yeah, me again.
You did.
Yes, what I'm you see, we have some intelligent people in Jamaica, but the thing I'm trying to say, why we can't set the country? It is like the preacher and the other person, why we can't set the country so we know for the people and person, I mean, why we can't do it? What is it that took place? Why we mess up mentally, really just? It's like every week you can't say I expect something. All through this are something really terrible to happen. Why we can't? We're not proactive. If it's a tree walking in it, our person, and it's end down.
Yeah.
There's no body from charge, and there's no community spirit, but I guess because they say about the politician not do what they're supposed to do. You have everybody run around and try to take it down. We need to drop somebody in and then then we start do this one that. The Panama get executed. You show people make reports to the place so that the wire down there. Why is it that we can't have a leader with that keep the country until I keep them friends and them family and them pocket?
Okay.
You have people after 3 minutes, after 3 minutes, the police them stop. Mad people on the road, dirty, you have no hands, no better, no hands at all. And we can't take a little money, get a piece of land, build something and put these people. The man have no hands at all, minute.
Earlier this morning, I was saying to a caller from St. Elizabeth Barry that it is recorded in Scripture that Christ came, died, so that through the forgiveness of sin, because his death is what opened that door for man to be forgiven and to be reconciled with God. And that through this forgiveness of sin, we, living in Christ, would express the righteousness of God. And the fruit of that expression of God's righteousness is peace. We would live in peace because we love. We would have peace in our society. We would have peace. Now, a lot of people look at the whole business of to worship God or not, and what does it mean for man to say, I submit to God and I surrender to his will. We think that it is some kind of personal giving up of control and that it's all about our individual condition. We don't readily accept that if all of us, or the majority of us, were to submit in that way, we would have peace. We would love our neighbors as ourselves. And what you're seeing when you say, why is it that most of us, despite the obvious advantages of working together and living in a certain way, why is it that we can't get it in the society? We see things that work against our interests and that pretty much make us sick. And yet we can't
still continue along the path.
Absolutely. The reason for that is there is a path to being that kind of person, and if you don't take it, you are just gonna stay the way you are. Man's instinct, they said the heart of man is wicked. That is where we are.
Is to be selfish.
To be selfish. To think of yourself and your family if your family lucky. Some people don't even think of the family. They say my family hold me back, and they cut loose and go off to make life on their own. You see people in the world like they come from nowhere. It's because they have cut loose from whatever should be their anchor. By ourselves, we cannot do it, and I think that's the acknowledgement that is needed.
I grew up in Jamaica. I mean, we have churches here in a minute where God fearing.
Some of the times.
So we say.
And then people sing to him, say a man must walk for water, I tell you, wine.
They has walked on it.
No, but I'll tell you in a minute. I remember that when my mother cooked, she used to stand next to her, to stand to us. And we see a banana, we see a yam. It's in a work of one of the community. They rally around. And you see that this thing, you know it why? Is it because of the cost of living? Is it because of the pressure of people, man, or why we lost it in it? That's a simple question because we still
lose our identity.
It's like the money make everybody the money, man, I rap, man, and the man have the money, and man, I say, I'll drink him up, he's gonna beat him. I said, I'm going to walk with money, boy, oh, reach me. And it's like we have nobody, just a few people like you, Pastor Jerry, it's a few people here, and the problem is minority, you know. Why is it that we as the majority can't take the country and run it to show example to the world? So we can't be loving, we can't be caring, we can't be considerate, we can't be kind. Go on the street, one bag of police, and then by night come, everybody gone home and them hot. But now go, madman on the street, you know, we can't tell these people get a places for them. So them food, there's no hands. I'm saying, really, where's the love, where's the care, where's the prime minister, where's the governor general, where's the business people, the parties just,
you see now, and I don't mean to be judgmental of your own conduct, but you are looking for the solution to come from somebody else. Could it be that the fact your heart was so stirred up is because there's a solution that you could give?
And you can give.
I give money, I give them money, I give them things.
Yeah, but that is a part, and I said I don't need to judge.
I am not having 100 million and everybody tells them 100 million.
Yeah.
I am not having that.
So you see now, the standard of love.
I'm not working, but I give, I have you to me, them come to me.
Let me say this.
You come here and come and entertain people. You give them the money, you give them money.
Let me say this. The standard of love that we are called to give and to express does not involve or looking to see who could do it better or who is better positioned. Christ was one who, when he saw a man hurting, he dealt with it himself. And that's the standard. And that is one of the reasons why the question you pose, why don't we do better? Because that standard is unattainable by human actions alone. Unattainable. No matter how good you are in your own sense of altruism or charity, by yourself, what you do will never rise to the level that is demanded of us by a Christ who says, they say love your neighbor, I say love your enemies. They say love your neighbor and hate your enemies, but I say love your enemies. Pray for those who spitefully use you, like some horrible people who spitefully use me, and are therefore on my prayer list.
So we just bless them, and it is a way that is not the normal way, not the default position, and that is what the shift needs to happen to. All right, I'll take another call. Yeah, that's it. You want to talk about
this case?
Yes,
it does not end well for the famous cricketer.
No, he's dead. He was executed. Yes. But I don't know why Mr. Brown, Earl Brown, brought us to. There was a case in 1954.
I can see why he did. So thank you, Earl. Earl in the archives dug up a case of a famous fast bowler cricketer who was married to a woman who, while on a trip to New York or was living in New York, whatever the case might be, she developed a relationship with another man, and she spoke some hateful words to her husband, who shot her. And he tried to explain the story. Nobody believed it, and he was executed. Good morning and welcome.
Good morning, Love.
Yes, sir.
You know what, sir? That's something we have to bring peace and oneness in the world. It name, them have to give back the people them things them first.
Reparations.
All of them artifacts that them take away.
What are we talking about now? What are you saying? You're saying that the love of Christ cannot be expressed through people unless they pay reparations? Is that what you're saying?
I'm not talking about pay reparations.
Unless they do what? Restore goods stolen?
Give back the people them things them.
Okay.
On a thief.
African, there's a call. There's one of the listeners asking. Let me just tell you what he's asking before you move to your new issue. He says, "Good morning, Mrs. Lawrence and Pastor Percy. Please ask African when and where will he and his group of like-minded persons be protesting?" Somebody wants to know when and where you would mount your protest.
No.
So I am at liberty to say it, or you want to say it? You're gonna say it? Okay, so I should say to the person that you're not requiring company. I don't know if it is that this person wants to join you or what if
I join this person want to join me in a grandstand with on Barbican Road.
Okay. And when? He wants to know when.
Which day?
You can also tell us on another day.
Never make the placard first.
Yes. And then you'll tell us when you call back.
Yes, Miss Minute.
All right, I appreciate that. All right. So now what's on your mind is the injustice of things being stolen from people's culture, which are not returned and are held hostage pretty much in foreign places.
Yes, Miss
Minute. Do you remember that when the temple had been raided and all of the prized possessions taken to Babylon, That it was God who stirred the heart of the foreign king to return it.
Give it back.
Give it back. And not just give it back, but pay to rebuild the temple.
And give them back with interest.
And give it back with interest.
Yes. So, you don't feel like God wants them people have to give it back what they went to?
No, what I'm saying to you with certainty is that God has done it before. He will do it again. But he does it for the people who recognize that he needs to be a part of the solution. These things that are happening to us, not happening to us without God's knowledge, you know.
Yes, for the covenant.
Yes.
He's a man will hold on for the covenant, you know.
And rightly so. And rightly so. But the covenant, whether it is the covenant between citizens of Jamaica and the state of Jamaica, whether it is the New Testament covenant that, you know, God has expressed between him and man, and any of the other covenants, because his covenants don't die away. All that happens is that access to the benefits of it get improved over time. Hang on to your covenant. I'm a covenant person myself.
Yes, Unity.
Okay.
I'm have a Kyle. Me have a Kyle in this situation very hard.
Okay.
To live.
Yes, because he said, by the sweat of your brow you shall eat bread, and so
yes,
shall it be.
So the government them to set up the thing that the people can work and use them set up them blood and live.
Yes, and a part of your toiling is to advocate for, support, select, tear down whatever stands in the way of interfering with your access to it. So yeah, we get that. But it's, you know, it can start with one man and spread, but somebody gotta start. And we can't keep holding back saying they should do this or we should do that.
I
want to see a placard. You know me, I come pass by so I can take a photograph of it and post it.
Never mess it up. We have some paint here. We have some one color paint here, some red paint.
All right.
You know, I look back there, I'm going to make it as me don't talk to you too.
All right.
All right, brother. Cool.
All right.
Oh, what happened to the call? Okay.
But Rosa Parks, one lady.
She just gotta get up.
And sparked something tremendous.
Yeah.
Yeah, but when he said the one person makes a difference. But she did, and it moved the thing. Somebody say, and it don't have to be anything violent. It's just a simple person silently, like the people yesterday protesting and saying, with their banners, come on.
You're talking about the three.
The three. I think that sums it up.
Yes. UTEC.
Yeah, 300%, PhD equals 0.5%. No inequity in our system. All
right, Earl explained that the Silvera case brought back memories of the Hilton case. Why it bring back memories? I didn't say you're a historian, because this case is from 1955. Earl, you have memories of 1955.
No, Earl is yes, he is that. But he remembers that well. But we don't know. As the lady says, we are doing the preliminary hearings. The same evidence will come out, because it has to be presented.
And they should wait.
Not prejudice, because if what happened, don't have to go to a jury.
Yes.
Okay.
We have to select jury. And you know, when people come in prejudging things, listen, man, the judge say, stay away, stay away.
Yeah.
If now the whole case and no information is coming out about the case, you have a different issue. But they have some lawyers who always make time for the press.
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
we were being tried in the parish court, very open to the press. Many a day I said, oh, will the press pass by and see the injustice? Not one. Not one. But can I tell you, when the what do you call it, the press release naming us as persons of interest and this triumphantly reporting that we were arrested and charged, oh, the press did eat it up. They did eat it up. So we understand, and the judge know too, how they stay. When they want to be vultures, that's all they want to do, is get salacious details that can be picked over at the dinner table and on verandas and in buses, while a man's life hangs in the balance, and truth and justice is to be done for a woman who has died.
Mm.
I think the judge made the right call.
I think it's unfortunate.
Yeah, you're quoting.
I think it's unfortunate.
There's something I was going to say to you, you know. And I've kind of forgotten what it is. Oh, Conrad, I congratulate you. Let me tell you what Conrad has said. Conrad says, he says, Minette, I retire my mom and paying her like she still work more than her former salary. Pause there. It is the duty of a son. Conrad will live until all his locks fall out.
Okay. Until all of his locks
fall out. He will live. Because when you honor your mother and your father, there is some long life that is promised to you. You better make a lot of money so you can take care of yourself, living as long as you will. Because he says he took a decision, retired his mom. Obviously, she must have consented, because I don't think he could have forced her. But gave his mom a time of ease, and he pays her even more than she was getting on the job. So if it's money while she's working, she will want not because her son is doing it. But then he goes on to say, and I am not worshiping no white man God named Jesus Christ, from King James of Cappadocia. And he expresses, obviously, his protest against the use of the King James Bible, because somehow the word of God is now held hostage by King James.
Okay.
But you know, I understand persons are still working through their issue about how man has curated and chronicled what is represented.
How they have used it.
Yeah, and how they have used it.
It is liberating.
Yeah.
Got the same book Tom Sharp read. I say, but
it's the same book that Marcus Garvey read, and culled his own principles from it. So each person will come to the right place, because you know God is a patient God, and He doesn't he doesn't punish us because we are confused. Just like how in human courts, if they see that you suffer from some mental impairment, or you know, they understand that your decisions and your actions cannot be judged as though made in full possession of your faculties. So once it is disclosed that something is going on, but your Father in heaven, who knows you and knows your mental condition, understands your confusion and the reason for it and why you feel this way about certain things, and He will not punish you. He will give you the opportunity to meet Him, get to know Him in the way that you ought to. Then you can make your decision. And if you still reject Him, well then, you're on your own. And he gave me some whole heap of laughter, says Conrad. I love you too, my brother. He sent me some smiley faces in abundance. Kisses. He makes another point, and this is something that I know for one that we've been praying about it on Wednesday. I prayed about it when we prayed for the nation. There are many Jamaicans who have changed their minds. They voted one way, they've lived and seen the ugly reality of it, they're voting another way. Or they didn't vote at all, and now they're choosing to vote.
I think even though for local government, you don't get a high turnout, I think in this local government, traditionally there's going to be a higher than usual turnout in this local government poll. And
people just anxious to vote.
And I'm just thinking about it. I'm just saying, they never made provision, then they make provision, then they say it's going to be called by February, and time is running out, so call the election.
January is running out, but February not start yet. There's still time.
Yeah, but 21 days they need, that's all.
Yes, and February have more than 21 days.
And we're going to get more trucks of fertilizer in the night being delivered.
And all of that has to be arranged before the announcement is made. So don't interfere with the people. Let them work.
Let them work and fix roads, and then...
They're doing their work. There's a community saying, pick me, fix my road before.
Yeah, to do some communities really benefit from that when you think about it.
Let me share Conrad's acronym for Bible. He says Bible means basic instructions before leaving earth.
I've heard that before.
Right. And he says, I read it all the time. I want my basic instructions before leaving Earth. So you see,
like a salesman and a proverb.
Yeah. But you know, and many people, and you are one of those who do it. You read one version, the translation, and you say, "Let me go and see what another version says, so I can get a full understanding."
Yeah.
Because you understand that much can be lost in translation,
and there is a lot.
And you also understand that political and geographic influences can work their way into the Bible.
And it's to understand it in terms of it, you know. But when you do that, it helps you. And like a thing, when Jesus says, it is more difficult for a camel to go through
the eye of a needle.
And people say,
it is easier for the camel to go through the eye of a needle than the rich man enter the gates of heaven.
And
right.
people saying, but the eye of a needle was actually a gate.
The needle eye gate.
Yes, and in order for the camel to go through it, the camel had to he couldn't go through any of the burdens that were on his back. And he had to kneel down, drop off those things, and go through it. And the same way for rich people. If they're going to come in, they have to let go the thing, because you don't get any entrance.
It's very graphic.
Yeah.
But you're saying it is actually rooted in a physical reality. There was a gate called the needle.
Yeah, and the camel got through it because it was the donkey.
No one is looking at you. And then there are some of us who say, whether it is a virtual gate, an imaginary gate, or a real gate, we get the picture. We see we all know what the eye of a needle look like, and we understand. Also, the beam in your eye, and the mot, the little speck in one man's eye, and a beam in another eye. We get it. We get it. It's literature too. It's what I was reading most recently, the fig tree, the cursing of the fig tree.
Coming to 9:30.
Yeah, there's one translation that explains that in the area at the time, when fig trees are in fruit in season, that's when they have leaves. But there was a type of fig tree that had verdant, beautiful leaves, but it was barren. And it was the using the fig tree as that Jesus would have chosen the fig tree to say, "You looking good and like you're producing, you're barren, cursed. If you're not fruitful, you must look it. You must be withered." But others just kind of pass over it and see it for the beauty that it expresses. But some translations give you the nitty-gritty and want to explain to you that there's some culture that affects the choice of.
And even some of the words, like for the Jews,
anyway,
it was very functional.
Your producer said we need to break. 9:31. We'll be right back.
Goodness mercy, it's me again, Lord, your restorer, your game changer. Join me every Saturday morning at 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. and Best FM 100. It's Apostle Clive Campbell, a.k.a. the Khaki Suit Man, coming to you from 8 to 12 Aaron Street, also Richmond District, Mandeville. Embrace the change.
Do you need reliable health care? We have it. Yes, we do. Great George Street Pharmacy. Shop number 897 Great George Street, Savannah Lamar, West Woodland. Opening hours, Mondays to Saturdays, 8:30 a.m. to 6 p.m. Call us at 876-603-7372 or WhatsApp us at 876-205-0499. Yes, we have reliable health care for you at Great George Street Pharmacy, Savannah Lamar.
Get healthy, my friends. Stay balanced. Tune into this station, Best FM 100, every Saturday morning, 8 o'clock to 9, for this wonderful program, Your Health Today, with me, Dr. Clarion Palmer. Yes, get healthy, get healthy, get healthy. Stay balanced. Best FM 100, Saturday morning, 8 o'clock with me, Dr. P. Get up.
Veteran Printers for all your printing needs. We specialize in calendars, flyers, brochures, and more. Call us today at 968-7506. That's 968-7506. Or visit us at 4 East Bloomsbury Road, off Haggard Park Road. Veteran Printers, your best choice in printing.
You ever hear Earthquake call and say, "Hello, Miss Lee, yes, it's me, Earthquake, I coming Tuesday around 10? No, sir. Earthquake does arrive unannounced, and when it come, it shake all sense and sensibility out of we. Remain calm, stay inside, and do the DCH. Drop, hover, hold on. Once the shaking starts, you know it's earthquake. Make a quick move to a safe place. Don't open the door, we are in the exit. Stairs might block up or full of people. Elevator, avoid that, because you might get in and poof, power gone, and you're stuck in that box without air. Drop, hover, hold on.
A message from the Office of Disaster Preparedness and Emergency Management.
Best 100 FM is the authentic voice of Jamaica. Connecting your prosperity with better vibes and better music. Let us promote your goods and services for you. Advertise with us. For more information, call our office at 876-376-8935. That's 276-8935.
The Morning Connection is not your usual talk show. We aim to stimulate discussion and chart new paths to self-empowerment. So please join us, Minette and Percy, on The Morning Connection, Mondays to Thursdays, 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. on Best 100.
It's good. It's better, but nothing beats.
Okay, welcome back. We're entering the final stretch of the morning, and it's been really interesting. We started, I think we've been given the opportunity to speak about our fellow Jamaicans who have had a change of heart politically, how we treat with them, because really, the freedom, first thing is what you do in the ballot box supposed to be private, but for some reason, everybody know what other people do. But beyond that, it's necessary that we respect people's right to change.
That's correct.
Yes, and we are gentle with them when they come to their senses.
Choices.
Good morning and welcome. Do you like how I put it? When they come to their senses. Good morning. Good morning. Welcome.
Wait, only this talk. Don't forget what's going on here.
Who's this? Do you have the right number?
Listen to me, man.
Whoa. Sorry, George.
Don't get one. They're going to get.
Okay, George.
I'm going to get one lawyer. Big lawyer will charge 10 million.
You're supposed
to. You have a lawyer that does that? 10 million for him to take up the case?
I want to know.
Okay.
I want to know if you enjoyed the program yesterday.
Casey. You listened to the farming program yesterday, George?
I heard you call. I was listening when you called. When you called, and made me hear you.
Me?
Yeah, me.
It wasn't me. It
Lion heart.
But you know, so anything for the station, we have to big them up in us. When you came on, we treat you with the love and respect, and the brethren that we are dealing with the same thing, you know?
What love and respect you treated me with? I had to earn that love and respect. You interrogate me and present and say, oh, no. Where did it come from?
Come on, the fact is that you have to get documented from what stock you're from.
Anyway, you grew to love us and we grew to love you.
Yes, exactly. Mm-hmm. That's the way it is.
Yes.
So I look up, somebody tell me I look up boy came to a big man and say, maybe I want to buy a bullet now.
Mm-hmm.
So the man said, look up boy, you have manners. Eh? You must have manners, man, before you talk to me and say, you look up boy, to him and say, manners. Talking about manners, man. He said, manners bring me right through the world. The man said, no, man. The look up boy said, no. If you have to America, visa, you have to get.
George. George.
What?
George. George.
By George. That's an expression, you know. By George.
Yeah, man. Anyway, we're talking about the bridge. What's his name again? I forgot his name.
From the show yesterday?
Tenny?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Tenny Miller.
Yeah, man, we're talking about the that where they was selling this product and talk about the type of things that he can use to get rid of the worm.
Mm-hmm.
The cell from attacking the plants. And I talked to him and I said, why using all these type of things?
Mm-hmm.
And then the worm, them change. Well, the small one gone and the next one come.
And
after that, then come the caterpillar that chop the plant. And after that, now you find we call the weed them. We come up and tie up the plant them.
So
if you keep try to get rid of these worm.
Oh, I see what
you're saying. So we don't like it become a super worm because they know you can antidote and come back and destroy the plant.
So
you spend millions, and when you go back to the farmer now, the farmer say, well, the things you say, oh, we're going to sell that next one, which is a super one.
So you're saying
that them change the different set of worm and insect attacking the plant.
So we're filling with the worms.
And my grandfather used to plant. What do we do? Use ashes. You know the ashes?
Yes. From the fireplace. But you understand. But you understand.
You're supposed to know about it.
What, the almanac?
The farmer book can tell you when to plant and when not to plant.
The almanac.
You have that on me, no?
Yeah.
And I put it on my bill. Okay. Yeah. So, it tell you when to plant. It says be careful of the more when you plant things that you're cutting any tree or anything to use to plant. You have to be careful. Because now, at the time of the full moon, the worm is on top. At the top side now, the worm is, as soon as the full moon gone, the worm gone right back there.
Mm-hmm. But you have to remember this, George. My George.
And when not to plant.
My George.
You understand me?
It's one thing.
And I go back again and I was on the road with some people that are the park and ask now that I could say, we hear him and tell me about this thing.
George.
Are you hearing me?
You're not hearing what you're saying.
I was gonna ask you, I'm asking you, or bringing to your attention that it's one thing to take ashes from the fireplace of your own kitchen and take care of a small plot of plants. How much ashes you get out of your kitchen for do what? 2 acres, 3 acres, 4 acres? We're talking about products that are developed for large scale farming.
Yes.
So the question is, what would be an organic product that could treat sufficiently with the worms without creating the super worm?
Yes, but
right.
Remember,
that's just the point I was going to make. Yeah.
But why they keep on getting these stuff and spraying and they still that one extra bug go inside of the onion and then get them out. No, you're spraying the plant to get rid of the bug.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a question I want to ask. So when you spray that color low, does what they're using, does it get inside?
Oh, that's what you're saying.
So you know the show is on, I think the show is on Mondays.
We cannot sell the color until 7 days or 1 week time. I want to hear information about that one.
Yeah, the show is on Monday. Save up your question. They're coming back. This is the wrong show.
The wrong show.
The only thing I wanted to bring to your attention is scale. Meaning the scale, the size, the magnitude at which certain things are done. The home remedies that you can, get maybe, even if you can't get 10 pounds of ashes out of your own fireplace, it will not handle the needs of a large-scale farming operation that need to deal with acres and acres of things. I just want, and you can also use the same principle and awareness to look at how we address certain things. What it would cost us to plan for 10 people would be the same as if you're planning for 1 million, but 1 million will give you a lot more revenue out of whatever you put in place than the 10 people. And this is an issue that Jamaica grapple with all the time. And the 10 people end up losing because the numbers will never come out in favor of blessing 10 people for revenue that can't even compensate you for what you do.
Yeah, yeah.
So government have to just decide on priorities and bite the bullet and say we're investing in our people because one day these 10 people will represent value of 10 million.
Yes.
Yeah.
So why? Why after having a local farmer getting what they're getting here, planting the crop is coming up, why them go exporting some overseas, say Allegheny and where them export overseas and to state out. Why them continue taking some overseas?
Because businessmen and women in Jamaica are making money-driven decisions that don't involve what farmers are putting out. Yeah.
All right. George, you have another person holding here.
The farm up and them go export because we see them go down and see the
foreign product.
All right, George.
We're going to take one more call before we close the show. So thank you, my brother, for weighing in.
Okay, bless you.
All right, great. Good morning and welcome. Good morning and welcome.
Yeah, somebody there, but.
Good morning.
Good morning. Yeah, you know, as you talk about scale up, I remember this, and we still being the manufacturer of ice cream.
Really?
Yeah.
Good morning. Good morning.
All right, Reverend, yeah, go ahead.
Yes, sir. You want to somebody more on top of that thing, you know.
Which thing?
Then more many people know that. What about them talk about them not vote and them not this and them not that. But they want to get rid of the government. Who the more tweet if them not vote? If them not get, and that them are promote, you know.
Yes, yeah.
You know, and the people them they vote. So, and then eventually I go in it. I go run the thing same way. The more the people them know say, when you go vote, and I want thing, who want them to know again, the electoral people them. Nobody now come swear this time. So you can bring man to swear and in name no match the name we have with the funny thing. And in picture no match the photograph.
Okay.
So we not swearing this time. Yeah, no man can come swear, but no JP and no MP can bring no man come swear. And then no know him. The name with him, he might want them to swear upon it. And enough with them name.
So,
yeah,
so you're talking about yeah, so first thing we need to vote. Everybody need to vote, I get a sense. But also you want to make sure that the integrity of the electoral process in terms of the people are voting.
Yes, I.
All right.
And then we make sure that nobody no come swear this year.
Okay.
Yeah, no swearing because them have enough time to go get them
to get themselves on the voters list.
Yeah, and if they know to them now go vote, they know who want come take money to vote now.
Oi. I just said that, Reverend, that is an issue that I keep hearing, the money and the voting. So who have the most money will win the election, you think, or people going to vote out of conscience?
Well, no, I'm not sure them like one people can understand the money. If you want money, then get on it on. So no people want them to know the money can't money.
And the money won't last for 5 years.
No. Then I tell them already, then sell them love now. And take money. And then have no love now, and then have no money. You know, see, because them sell them love already. So you see, at that card, all of them thing I know.
All right, sir. Message received.
Yeah, message love, man.
Message received. All right, thank you very much. Mr. Engineer, please remember Mr. Cruz's love song request. Let's fall in love. Is the request.
All right, but as we close, George raised a very important point, which I think everybody grapples with. Remember, this is at the turn in the 90s. We decided company no longer exists, that we wanted to in terms of the production of ice cream to add our local, like the different flavors, the sour sop, all the different things, yeah. So we had formulated the thing and we got samples and we ran the samples. Wonderful. Now we were ready to go into mass production. We had to draw bricks.
The fruit went into hiding.
Yeah, because we could not, we couldn't get the quantities that we needed to produce the flavors, and
still call it natural flavors, because you'd have had to synthesize something.
Right. But the whole thing about sample, we are a country that good samples. But in terms
can only make 10.
Yeah, but
twice per year.
But yeah, you can't use that. You can't use samples to
build an industry
and build a nation. We say, oh, that person doing good. It's the same thing in education. A few schools doing well, but what do we need to ensure across the board that every child is guaranteed? You never need a PISA report. But that's the thing. That's the challenge that we face in this country. We have to do the things. And I have other stories, but that's it.
We'll do some of them tomorrow.
Yeah.
As we go back in prayer for the nation on Wednesday mornings.
Yeah, right.
Well, right now we do the usual. We thank you most sincerely for your contribution, for your input. We've walked a very diverse path this morning in our discussions, just starting pulling from yesterday and looking at how knowledge of self and that confidence to reach and to exceed even what your parents did, how that can be the way to build a nation or to lose a throne, depending on where you go. And we've just been looking at things and hoping that as you have journeyed with us, you are developing the muscle to shape your own thoughts and to push for the changes that would give you and your children a better future, better prospect. So thank you to those online and on air for being with us this morning in studio right here, to our engineer and our producer. Hey, we know that it does take a lot of personal commitment and energy to be here and to do what we are doing, to stay awake sometimes and to have a clear mind and to grapple with some of these issues. It is the grace of God that allows us to speak as we do. So, we give thanks to the Almighty for that too. Pastor Percival, thank you so much. Pastor's birthday is coming up. Let's see, what does he want? A brand new car would not be too much for our pastor. You agreed so readily.
It's coming.
So of course, those who are in a giving mood, he's of a certain height, so please don't buy him no little teeny tiny car. He's a big man. He needs solid wheels under him. But we're looking forward to celebrating with you on Friday. So Thursday is when you have the opportunity. But feel free to start from tomorrow to bless our Pastor Percival as he enters into another year of great fruitfulness. This is no fig tree. With bird and leaves. He barely has leaves. I'm kidding. Thank you all, Percy.
Thanks very much.
His leaves are falling.
Thanks very much. Good. Bless you.
Thank you. Miss Wireways is coming up next. You're going to get the music that you love. But first, let's fall in love with the man from St. Elizabeth. Did you find it? No, he said something like, what was it, Amari or some name like that? Yes.
See me in my heels and ting. Them checks say we hip and ting. True them no know and ting. We have them going and ting. Now pop, no stop. All strictly rules. Now pop, no stop. I strictly rules. See me on the road and you not call up to me. Do you see me in my pants and ting? See me in my altar back. See me give you a heart attack.